Yeah. Wow. Lucky you can only see that, Mel. I just got,
Groped.
yeah.
Welcome in. How many? 8 viewers.
It's the only part of you that's not sunburnt though, Si. So
True.
probably the best place to touch.
Hope everybody's well. Mel, how are you?
I'm good. How
I
are
can't
you?
see Mel.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The mouse
Sorry.
wasn't working.
It's very loud.
Evening, Shane. What's up? How you doing? Mel, you look lovely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm taking one stray day from my normal monochromatic wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bright and joyous one day in the year.
And I have gone.
Positivity.
And I think my skin is the same color as your top.
Hey, Casey.
Yes, your skin is the same colour as my top. Especially in real life where it's...
I wanna know, have you ever seen the Bane?
I should turn those off
That was very loud,
for
Simon.
these streams.
Yes, you should.
That was something. Hey, Bane, if you can just never come back. You can talk, just not for the first time. So you're just going to have to talk consistently
Yes,
so that it never goes off again.
exactly.
Is what I was trying to get at, not just never come back again. You're
That was me. I was the one who screamed then.
No, but it was loud for me too.
That was very loud.
Your scream is very loud.
It
I don't
is.
want to slap you. That takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever tried to hit someone, it's only hurt me.
Yeah. Right? Same with the high five things. I go for a run up high five where I'm like,
Yeah.
and
They hurt.
they do.
They do hurt. To the point, all high fives hurt me. I don't know whether I'm just really weak, but like to the point where when my colleague and I used to high five each other as a sign of affection, we would just do a hand touch, and everyone would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But we were just like, oh, "I did something good today." Oh, that was
Like,
it. Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
weird when we do it
just
because
like
we're
that.
married.
yeah.
And I'm waiting for you to take your run up.
I Moby was Moby
Taken.
Moby was.
taken, so I chose
Thank
this.
you. Thank you for the
Welcome on in. Thank you for the raid.
thank you for the raid.
Happy Sunday, Saturday.
Happy.
I think it's probably
That.
Sunday most places.
Yes. Welcome on in. How was your stream? What were you doing?
Hi.
Just Moby, just Moby.
Moby.
Moby, how was your stream? What were you streaming? Welcome on in.
What are you doing? Let me do one of these.
We just started.
Maybe he was
did
streaming
this.
Dark Souls 2.
Eh?
Dark Souls 2.
What's Dark Souls?
It's a video game.
Is it Ducky? Is it Duck? Dark.
It's like
Read it. It says Dark.
Dark Souls. Yo, Crispy, yo, Dolly. What's
a lot of
Dark
Dark Souls
Souls?
games.
The game, right? You just said that.
I don't
yes.
know a lot about Dark Souls. I've just watched a little bit of it, but it's like, you're a person and you run around and you do tasks and you collect souls. And if you die, you lose your souls. That's as much as I know, but it is kind of like run around the like almost real human looking stuff.
No, it was Drunk
Drunk
Souls.
Souls.
Scholar up the first gin.
I respect that.
Nice, nice.
It is the Erin and Mel show. Simon's also here. Can the people see you, Si?
No.
Or is that a special
That's just-
video? Great, cool.
No, it's just for
Trust
you,
me.
Mel.
Maxie, just get better at the game then.
Have you tried getting good?
Have you tried improving your skills?
You're so welcome.
We
This
need
is
it.
Erin and Mel's life coaching.
We need a tiny psychem. Well, are you getting a bit more? I can't tell what's going on there.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. You just... Anyway, moving on.
I feel really bad for the people. They are missing out.
You are missing out.
Yeah. Just imagine a semi-naked man, but the color of a tomato,
That's about right,
and that'll
too.
kind of cover it.
Do I ever understand what's going? Probably not.
You don't get to know which half is the semi-naked half. That's for me to know.
Yes. Well, what are you having a beverage of?
Matzo's ginger beer.
We did, Dolly. And,
Matzo's
yeah.
very
I
nice.
feel left out. This is the first time that I'm just drinking.
Okay,
Hey,
but
Bane.
I've got some, this is the first time I've had a beverage on the podcast.
That is true. We're
And it's because
swapping.
I bought two singles. I bought a Matzo's, so I went to Trivia, as we know, but that place sells a lot of like craft beer. And I love Matzo's. They're a smaller brewery out of Broome, and they do a mango beer that is just like, it's what I buy everyone for gifts. Any man in my life gets Matzo's for Christmas.
Nice.
But they've just started a strong ginger beer. This is not a sponsorship for Matzo's, but if they would like to sponsor me,
Should.
I will consider drinking more than I do, which is not much. And then I bought some Tasmanian apple cider because, come on, apple
I am-
Isle.
I'm not. I don't think I'm tomato. I'm a little bit pink, but
You're watermelon.
yes. Let's go with that. But
You look red until you see Simon, and then you no longer look sunburned.
maybe can you just put your head into the camera?
Yeah, just his head. I think that's the worst of it. Yeah. See, Erin's not that sun. Well, you're both a bit. You both need to get the aloe vera out.
Yes. Poor Simon. Mel, what do people not see with you this week?
Can't put me on the spot like that. I forgot that that's a recurring segment.
Yes, Shane.
What did people know? I don't know what I did this week. Not a whole lot, really. It was like, for me, it was one of those just get through it kind of weeks, and not necessarily in a bad way, just in like there's a lot on, and I'm just going through the motions without really feeling much about it.
Yeah.
And then I crashed, like, last night. I crashed and was like, oh, I'm tired. So I slept for like 14 hours.
Yes.
So really not a whole lot, just back in the throes of work for me. How about you? That was a single. I want it to be known. That was one sneeze.
You're just too quick with it. It's all of a sudden it's like, how about you?
My mouse hovers over the mute button. Like, so all I have to do is just click and I'm muted. It's deliberate. You never know.
Yep.
Not a whole lot for me this week. I know that sounds very boring, but it was a very boring week. It was just, doing the stuff.
Not gonna lie, I had a song request idea, but today's not the day. I got to know you a long while ago, thanks to Trio. Oh, nice. What was the song request?
Lovely. I also guarantee you don't want a song request from me.
Oh, maybe we should. There should be a reading.
Definitely not.
What happened with us? What happened with us? What happened with me? What happened with
Are you
me?
saying men don't want soft hands, Shane?
Oh, I'm
That's
not.
one of the most important things I look for in a man.
I would agree.
I'm not gonna lie. If I'm all about the hands. I'm a hands girl. Hands and eyes, first two things I notice. So, soft hands, very important.
Nice.
Also, you're looking lovely. Is that a new dress?
Thank you. This is it's actually a play suit, and it's from Guess. No, it's not the shop Guess. Sorry, I'm like as in guess where it's from. Surprise.
I would have said the op shop, and
Correct.
if not the op shop, I would have said Cotton On.
Yes, op shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ow,
sorry.
ow.
Sorry. It's a
That's
little play
really
suit,
cute.
right? Op
The
shop.
colour of it's beautiful.
$7.
Like that beigey.
$7.
7?
Yes. I feel like
Yeah.
everything I buy from the op shop ends up is about $7.
Yeah, mine either sits in like the 6 or then it's like for other like pants will often be like 15ish
Yeah.
at Savers. Yeah.
Pollyanna. I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up. We are talking all ADHD stuff. We went to the beach today.
Maroochydore.
Thank you.
Very cute dog.
And thus...
Did you get out the door by 7 a.m?
7:30.
Pretty impressive.
And
And
Yes.
I feel like... So my mum, for those who don't know, so my mum's up and she was like, I want to leave by 7 o'clock in the morning. And so I feel like I got this, like, what do you call it? We got home reasonably because we had an early gig. We finished at 8, so we were home and had dinner and probably in bed by, 10?
something like
Yeah.
that.
You were in bed well before me.
Yes, and I was tired. It was a big day because we were up early anyway, weren't we?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the markets. We went to the markets. That's what it was. What was my point?
About what time you woke
Oh
up.
yes, I felt like I had like this, like that. My body clock was saying, if you're not up, Mum's gonna barge in and I'm gonna have this I'm gonna be woken up in a stress and be overtired and be like,
So do it on your
miserable.
terms.
Oh, not miserable. I'm gonna get snappy. So my body decided to wake me up at 5:30 this morning. So because I was up, everybody was up. So I'm like, Simon, why am I awake? Oh, sorry. I'm like, Simon, why am I awake? Simon. He's like, I don't know. Why are you awake? I'm like, well, we're both awake now. So. So sorry, Si. That's what happens.
Safe side.
Safe side. So I stormed into Mum's room at 6:30. I'm like, wake up. So it was a day.
That was a long day.
Yeah. Apart from that, I feel like it was a bit the same. Like, not a whole lot happened, did it?
No.
I didn't have any severe meltdowns. I may have had a little one earlier in the week.
Yeah, I had a couple of little ones.
A couple of little ones. Just baby ones.
Yeah, I definitely had one driving a friend home after karaoke. I've never been to karaoke. Trivia.
Oh, you just reminded me.
Just because it was really late and I'd been driving for 12 hours that day, pretty much consistently. Bless you in advance. Is that a sneeze you're holding, or are you thinking about something very dramatic? Oh, she's gonna sneeze. All right. Well, so yeah. And then a little one last night, but not really meltdowns. There were no tears. It was just okay, I am acknowledging that I need to do something about this because I don't feel good. All it was the night that I drove a friend home was I needed to pull over and just get some food because I hadn't eaten all day. And I was just overstimulated. I've been driving for a long time, and it was dark, and I don't usually drive at night because I
Yep.
never need to. And it was just I'm sorry that it's delaying you getting home, and you could have gotten home faster without me, which caused me a lot of guilt. But I need to stop. And so I got some food, and I was fine. And last night it was just I needed to go to sleep. That's all it was. But I was actually understimulated and overstimulated.
Yeah.
Like I was overstimulated emotionally, but I was understimulated, like bored.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have anything. Like I streamed last night, but then when I was done with that, because I got kind of tired, like because I was overstimulated socially.
Yeah.
Then I was like, but I'm also bored, and none of the scrolly things are giving me the dopamine I need.
Yeah.
And that upset me.
Yeah.
And then you messaged me, and it ended up being fine because that was enough, a little bit of social that I was like, okay, and I will go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really shit sleep last night, but that's fine. Yeah. So I think it was a bit of a nothing week, which is not necessarily a bad thing for both of us, really. I think some stability is a good thing.
Yes, I agree. Man.
Sorry.
Every time, for those who can't see, every time I touch Simon, he's like,
Don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
I'm sorry, whatever it is.
That was nice what you just did.
May I please have a coffee?
Yes.
I think I'm very overwhelmed by today. Mel said you were orange AF, but what the heck? I'm not that orange. This guy's orange. He's
Yeah,
red.
Simon.
It's alright, he's
Simon
red.
Botman.
This is tan. This is actual tan. So, poor Simon.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the best.
No.
You're
Get
right.
some water, both of you.
I've sculled 2 bottles so far.
His back is full,
Gotta get
is
the
already fully
electrolytes.
peeling. Did you burn? Have you burnt the last few days? No, I mean like
no.
before this, because I don't understand how your body could be already peeling now. Like it's only been a few hours.
Yeah, so I've put a heap of aloe vera on. So that's first thing we did, really.
Yeah, we got aloe plants. So,
I put aloe vera cream on, and the straight from the plant as
the
well.
leaf. Cut the leaf open. I'm like, yeah.
That's the good stuff. I used to do that. It was great.
I said I feel like because some of them, because they're in a smaller thing, that the extra plants that are growing quite small. I said I really need to get I want to get quite a few big ones so that you've
Aaron.
got a constant source available because it's just good for your skin in general anyway.
Yeah.
If you were the roast chop they served me, I wouldn't send you backside.
Yeah, he's medium rare, that's for sure.
He is leaning a bit more on the rare side.
Yeah.
I will disclose that if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm checking on a kitten I found on the side of the road not less than an hour ago.
I you should tell that story. Is there any way I can turn the background music down in my ears?
Yeah, so I was driving home to get ready for the podcast, and
It's
sorry,
with
I'll tell you the
everybody.
story so you can sort your stuff out at the same time. And I got off the West Gate, and I was driving towards the city, and I saw something in the gutter, and I thought, maybe bird. So I always pull over because it's me. And it was a tiny little kitten.
Kitty cat.
So
Poor little bosoms.
yeah, he's a cutie. He's about the same age as mine, so they'll all be friends once I check that he's
Is that better?
Yes, please, thank
alive.
you. And so so that cat will probably go and be checked, micro-checked, and then probably up for adoption.
Kind of. He'll
everything?
go up for adoption, yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be checked. They go to the vet for, they've got to be desexed and microchipped and stuff, so they get a vet check then, but I always quarantine for 7 days.
Yeah, yes, of
It'll be
course.
fine. So yeah, he's quarantined at the moment, and wormed and fleed and all those things. So I was late today, which has never happened, not even one time. Although I wasn't late, I was here on time. Just
Mel's
wasn't
like-
early,
she's
which
like-
to me is late.
She's like, oh, it was like 3 minutes to 6 or 7 for you. And she's like, sorry, I'm late. I'm like,
For me, it's
What?
late. Like, usually Sai sends me the guest star invitation like 45 minutes before the start of stream, and I get it all set up, and then I go like potter and
Yep.
get ready. But today I did not, which is why my hair's wet, because I went and stuck my head under the sink.
that's fine. It looks good.
Because
It's usually what I do.
it was a bit dishevelled.
And what did I do, Mel? When
Got
you,
dressed.
huh?
You got dressed, which was good.
Well, yes, but before that.
You flashed me. It's just no longer that, like, it doesn't have any shock value anymore because you do that every week.
That's true.
It's escalating. Each week
Yes.
it gets more.
Yep, there was always it
got
was
full
almost a full
crack
moon.
today.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to show you the difference.
It was important, though I still think that some of that is that you're tanned.
It is true. Yes, because my butt is
compared to
white.
Like your butt is my color.
Yes, my butt is.
I am the color. When I go get shade matched at Sephora, I'll be like, oh, I'm Erin's bum shade. that's the color I need to match to. None of this ivory business.
Ivory is a weird. See, I thought when I was like during lockdown that I thought I was an ivory color, but it's a weird blend. It's a weird tone. It's almost pinky, whitey, grey,
Well, the thing is,
which I don't think you are.
I'm usually a natural.
Yeah.
Because I have a neutral skin tone.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. My face is very pink because I have rosacea, but then like my arms are all yellow toned, and so my neck is yellow, and so I never match no matter what. No.
Especially when they're like, oh, just match it, put it on your arm, and it'll match. And you're like, no, it didn't.
Always match to like my neck.
Yeah.
Because that's what, like, at the end of the day, that's what people
Where
are
it's
going to
going.
see the difference between.
Yeah.
Is your neck. No one's going to see your arm and go, that's not the same color as your face.
Mm.
I am looking a little bit airbrushed today because I've caked on more foundation over the foundation I had on earlier, but it's fine.
See, it looks
It's feeling
just
weird today,
smooth
it's
and
fine.
natural to me. When like, I need lessons.
I'm just having one of those weird times. Like, this is not really ADHD related, but definitely mental health related. When your body changes a lot, and I mean, it's the same, you get it, right? My body is changing a lot. I'm losing a lot of weight, and I'm like, my metabolism has kicked in again, and so I've lost like 4 kilos in the last 2.5 weeks. It's up and down, of course, which is normal.
I don't know what to do now. Just do the instant, but with milk.
What's wrong here?
I just got shown that the only thing coffee we have right now is decaf.
No.
Oh my god, I haven't taken my
out of
tablets
milk,
today.
So go take your tablets immediately.
I just forgot.
I've actually been good about mine today. I took them because they're in my handbag.
I shouldn't
so was
take
going
them
to the
now, though.
shopping
It's too
centre.
late.
No, too late. I was at the shopping centre and I was going to the shopping centre. I'm like, you know what? I will get overstimulated in this shopping centre, so I'm taking my meds. And I took them, and oh my god, it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
Like, I rarely take them on a weekend, but I think I'm going to have to start because I find that, like, all of the things that actually affect me ADHD-wise, like the overstimulation, okay, I don't need to focus as much, but, like, if I don't take them, I'm way more prone to binge eating because I'm bored, or just, like, little things that do impact me and I don't want them to. So I think I'm going to just start taking them consistently 7 days now, and maybe take a break, like, if I've got something on that will stop me doing all of those bored behaviors.
I actually never thought of it like that that's what the meds could help with.
Oh, absolutely. They help with the dopamine. Like, the difference in how I eat when I'm on them and when I'm not. Like, I would not have lost any weight without my ADHD meds. As soon as I started my ADHD meds is when I started, like, my weight loss journey.
See,
Because suddenly I didn't have that, like, and actually it swings too far the other way. I sometimes, like, I forget to eat because I don't have an appetite when I'm on them.
we should, whether we talk about it now or, like, have that as another episode.
I was actually
that's
saving
a great
the
one.
food and exercise episode for when Richard joins us.
Yes.
Because like Richard's on the same kind of journey, and I think he would really provide some pretty cool insight.
Because I never considered that would be that the whole binge eating thing is.
Binging is a dopamine seeker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had chocolate in ages, actually.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's why I have a big dinner, because that's when my meds wear off. So I'm a dinner girl. Like, I know that technically you shouldn't, but if my meds wear off.
I love it when your meds wear off.
Me too. If my meds wear off, I'm starving. And it's like, I will just binge eat. So I usually I don't eat much during the day, and I'll save those, like, those calories for dinner.
Yeah.
And have, like, a big dinner and then a little snack before bed. Because otherwise I will just eat the same amount anyway.
Yeah.
So I portion the morning and day a little bit better, but then it's like the balance of not under eating, because then I have no energy and I get to 1 o'clock and I'm like, oh my god, why am I so upset and having a meltdown? Oh, because I'm starving.
Yeah.
So it's a balance for sure.
That's true. Yeah, never thought of that.
Hey Desmond.
So today.
Can I also say, I got a new fidget spinner. And I know
Yeah, you
that fidget
did.
spinners were a thing. but this is actually the best. Because not only is it a good fidget spinner, like you can see all the colors move and stuff, which
That's-
is really great, but it has the poppers in it. And so you can sit and like just play with the poppers, which like I have to keep my hands busy or I will just sit here and fidget and move and not listen. And it's quiet, which means like it's not really setting off my microphone or anything. Maybe occasionally when I stop it, but anyway, that's that.
It's
I just
funny
wanted to share that.
you say about that as well, because I never really noticed it, but this morning, because I had a coffee in my hand, and I was as I was drinking my coffee, I was literally just pacing up and around the kitchen. Mum was like, "Stop walking around. Sit. Would you stop? Would you stand still?" Like kind of thing. I was like, like
You can't.
no, but that's so it's so weak. 'Cause I never really thought that I was ever like a, again we talked about the ADHD and the fidgeting aspect.
Yeah.
Never thought. I'm always like, but I'm not a fidgeter. I'm not restless.
yeah.
But then again, first thing in the morning, I get straight up and I'm awake. When I'm awake, I'm awake, and when I'm asleep, I'm asleep. There's no in between with me. And so as soon as like I had my coffee in my hand, I'm just pacing up. Probably because I knew we were going out, and so I had my brain was like, what do I need to pack? What do I got to do this? What about Harley? Like all the things that I was probably like getting myself worked up about.
I didn't realize that I was a fidgeter until I saw myself played back either from stream or when I was sitting in a Teams meeting and I could see my own camera and I was really cognizant of how much other people were moving versus how much I was moving.
Yeah,
I
right.
still think I'm more fidgety than you because I really notice how much I fidget compared to you, especially like editing our videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I never realized how fidgety I was until recently, and now I'm realizing. And again, it's something that I'm learning to accommodate. So I bought myself a bunch of little like
That's
I
cool.
got this too, which is just like literally you just sit and do this with it. Like,
Yeah.
just,
That almost looks like a
it's like Rubik's cube.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
It's kind of just something to like keep my hands busy, especially at work when I'm sitting in meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
Where with a bunch of people who know that I'm neurodiverse, but not enough to understand why I might be like spinning around in my chair. So it was really cool. I've just bought a few things to try.
Nice.
And I will report back on if they significantly improve my life. But they were $2, so I don't really care.
Nice. If they go in the
Yeah.
bin, then that's fine.
They won't go in the bin. They might just go in the drawer of shame forever and ever, amen. But that's.
Or if they break.
Anyone else went to a Christian school, and whenever you hear the phrase "forever and ever," you end it with "amen," because same.
Normal Europeans would probably waking up around this time, but since the individual is about to go to bed. No worries.
Sleep
Thank you
tight,
again for the
man.
raid, Moby. Good to see you. Yeah, and I'm glad that Tree Oaks, that you remember us, that you found us through a Tree Oak raid, and
Lovely.
have a good
Thanks
rest.
again. You didn't do. I'm so glad it's not just me. There's a few little Christian school things that I still do.
Yeah, right.
Like, and also with you. That's one.
Peace be with you, and also with you.
Peace be with you, and also with you.
Lift up your hearts, we lift them up to the Lord.
Lord, yeah. Occasionally, I'll just start singing "Shine,
Thank you.
Jesus, Shine."
Don't know that one.
Um,
Can you maybe put a little bit of the fake colour in it? Oh, why?
Sorry, you did.
Oh, you're such a good boy.
What a good boy.
With his red face, poor boy.
You guys are. I mean, you just need. You know what? You guys have made. If you just go stand between your wardrobe and Simon,
If I go stand,
just right there, just a little bit further, just Simon on the right, and then yep, keep going. Oh, Simon's left. You would have made a perfect traffic light. Green, orange, and red.
Mouse, because just don't worry.
Don't worry, it was a
I
funny
know.
joke. Don't spill your coffee. Don't spill your coffee. No one else can see it anyway, but I made myself laugh.
Yes.
You guys are a beautiful traffic light.
Thank you. Red, red, yellow,
Traffic light
red,
is the
orange,
tricycle.
green. Yep.
Red, orange, and green.
Um,
So
today,
today,
we are talking about.
Look, I needed something positive. We've covered some pretty heavy topics on the podcast, and it's great, and I love it.
I agree.
But I'm really cognizant that we've maybe not touched on the fact that people with ADHD, like, we there are perks to ADHD. There's
Yes.
things about us that make us cool
I
and
agree.
special and that are good things. And so I wanted to talk about what we call ADHD superpowers. Things about our ADHD that like make a part of our personality or a positive for ourselves or for other people.
Yeah.
I've written down a couple for myself. I also wrote down a couple for you.
Ooh.
Of things that I've noticed. And look, really want to encourage chat as well to share their ADHD superpowers or things that you notice in other people. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought we could, what we decided to go do.
Go do done, go do no, go.
My meds haven't worn off. Your meds have worn off. It's Sunday. It's fine.
Exactly.
I got myself a protein bar. Didn't eat it. So
You know your hair's got like this like on the side closest to here. It's got a bit of blue.
Yeah, it's because
the-
purple lights behind
Yeah.
me.
I was like, oh, I like that on you.
No, I'm blue. I used to have blue hair.
You did?
Up
Nice.
until like I started not this job but the job before, so like this time last year I had longer hair and I always dyed the ends of my hair like pink, blue, purple, green at one point.
That's very cool.
I did all the colours, yeah. I loved a good colourful hair, but now like I could still do it with my job, but it's just easier not to.
Of course.
It's just, sometimes it's not worth the conversation. Yeah.
In regards to superpowers, I'm very interested to see, because I know I have done a lot of reading, probably not as much lately, in terms of ADHD and neurodivergency and things, and what different people, like I always, and it's like you said, we have covered a lot of heavy topics and topics that are probably a bit more on the downside.
Yeah.
Or on the emotional feeling, like heavy weight type of stuff. And I guess it's probably great for people as well that are listening that are probably feeling the heavy weight of ADHD parts of it and haven't realized what the others parts are. I think I'm a little bit in that category. I feel like I don't see a lot of the good things at the moment, maybe because I'm not aware, or because when you're depending on I guess the people that you're with or what you're doing in life, they may not come out as often, or you may not present itself. So I'm very interested to kind of hear someone who's more experienced in it than I am,
Yeah, definitely.
what they are.
Yeah, and look, I think that it's hard because you never know how to differentiate something that your ADHD causes versus something in your personality. And I think there's parts that are both, right?
Yes.
Like there's parts that I could have fought and not had if I was a different kind of person.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to say, you're only a good person because you have ADHD, or I think it's either sometimes it's you're a good person in spite of
Yes.
these challenges.
Agreed.
But I think that there are things about ADHD and or autism that are sort of, it's clear where they come from and that they help
Yes.
those become more dominant qualities in your personality.
Or for people to see those things as good things. Sometimes you might hear a particular trait or something that you do that is a result of, and see it in a negative light, whereas you might have someone that like if we, after talking about it, someone might say, actually, that thing is good for this, and you might go,
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
And honestly, I feel like a lot of these things are things that we can look at as negatives as well. Like there's part of it that
Or how to use certain things that happen with us in another way that is
And they
more
can-
positive.
yeah. I mean, look, the blessing and curse, the saying a blessing and a curse applies for a reason, right? There are parts of, and definitely in some of the ones that I'm going to share, there's things about them. I think each of them has like a good and a bad.
Yeah.
That have a good side, but then there's a side of it that can impact me negatively, as opposed to other people. It doesn't usually impact other people negatively, but I think it's where they land on an extreme. It's like, if I do this thing to an extreme, then it impacts me negatively. And I think that's the case with a lot of things.
Yeah,
But
of course.
I feel like the ADHD superpowers, it's like they're really good qualities, but we tend to use them too much to the point where it becomes detrimental to us.
Yeah.
In my experience. So, yeah. I've written down 5 for me and 3 for you, although I think that probably a lot of the ones I'm going over for myself
I can apply for
to you
me.
too. So the first one I've written, and actually I lie, I've written one on you and me, is empathy. Like a very strong sense of empathy and justice and what is good. But empathy in the sense of being able to really put yourself in another person's shoes and go, that would really suck. Or I kind of know exactly how they're feeling despite that being a situation that I cannot ever be in.
Yes.
You know, like even if it's, you know, something that would never ever apply to me, I can still kind of understand how that would feel. I'm very empathetic and very mindful, and I think that actually translates into my brand of love language in that I'm not a birthday or Christmas gifter. I'm someone has kind of accidentally identified a need and I'm going to go fill it kind of thing. You know, and you're like that definitely. Too in some ways. I think we spoke about this last week in a way around sort of just like, oh, you know, where I'd mentioned the milk and the toilet paper thing.
Yes.
Right? So I think that there's that strong sense of empathy, and I'm like, someone is going through it right now, and what can I do from where I am right now that might help them not feel alone, because I know what it's like to feel that way. I know what it's like to feel, to be going through a tough time and feel like no one is there.
Yeah.
So I think that that's very much an ADHD or a neurodivergent superpower for me. That's probably my biggest one. And obviously there's the flip side on that I tend to be sometimes too empathetic and put other people before myself to my detriment.
Yeah.
It's something I have to work on.
And it can get very overwhelming as well. Like you said, like feeling that you care so much about something that's so far removed from you as well in certain scenarios.
Or an imbalance. It's often, I feel like, I think we spoke about this last week at length, in that feeling like you care about other people way more than they could ever care about you can be hard. But at the same time, I would not sacrifice my empathy, even if it does have an impact on me. I think it's probably one of my favorite things about myself, and I rarely introspect and think about good things about myself because it's not in my personality, but I think that it's something that sets me apart because I will always be this way. And I know that. I'm like, you know what, I'm never going to get to the point where I'm so bitter that I can't feel that empathy, and I'm really proud of that. I think you're the same. I
am. I haven't learned yet to, I don't want to say switch it off, but sometimes it'll even be in a movie, if I'm watching a movie or something, or if I'm watching a documentary. I think that can be really hard, is when I'm watching a documentary, or you know, especially with crime stuff. It's like, for some, and probably because my brain goes so fast, it's like I think of that, and I think of that scenario, again, when you're watching it play out in front of you, most people can kind of switch that part, separate themselves from what they're watching. Yet when I watch documentaries or watch film or watch, you know, any kind of or listen to other podcasts or listen to the audio things, I relate. I put myself in that in those shoes, and kind of embed myself in that story to understand it better and to connect to it and get that emotion. Maybe that's a part of the dopamine thing and as well. So I absorb all that emotion, and it's really tough sometimes, especially you know, and then that's part of the connection is where I go down a rabbit hole, because I might start looking into it even more and then imagining what those people would be feeling or going through, and I have a full meltdown over it. That's where I find I haven't learned to disconnect myself from that the empath thing to a certain degree, which I think is a work in progress for me.
And do you do that? Because you've just reminded me of something that I do. Are you like that with real life people too?
Yeah,
because
100%.
Sometimes, or I say sometimes, all the time, I'm trying to be careful how I say this, but if someone I know is going through it, or they're going through a situation or a tough thing, I will empathize to the point where I take on, and I can't help this, I take on the exact feeling that they would be feeling, but I don't have a reason for it.
Yes.
So it's if someone I know is going through a hard time, and you know someone's passed away, they will be grieving, and
I'm the
feel
worst.
That grief, and to the point where it feels like someone I know has died.
Yeah.
But
I'm terrible at a funeral.
How do you seek support for that? Because it's oh well, you know what's going on with you, and I'm like, that's where I'm like, I don't know, or there's nothing really. It's like, I just feel awful.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it's that I've taken on the feeling of someone else's grief or
Yeah.
depression or hurt, for whatever it might be. But I don't have a reason to be grieving. Like, I'm
Yes.
not grieving right now. But then I have to almost connect it into a time when I was grieving so that I can justify it to anyone else. I'm like, oh, I just really, like, I miss this person or whatever. Bane, good night.
Bane. 100%. Like, I'll have gone to, like, I've had to, been to a funerals before where I don't know the person at all. It might be, it's a distant connection.
Yeah.
But I'm a mess. And I'm like, I feel like I feel like a bit of a dick or an asshole because people are like, why you? Like, but I just connect to that feeling. And and I feel ridiculous at times because I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm being, not that I'm not being insensitive, but people might think of it like, oh, what are you putting it on? But it's just like, I'm a mess. And it's the same with weddings though, for a positive thing. Like we've played at weddings before where I've been in bands where it's like, I've just been called up, can you come do, like when something's happened to a singer and I need to go and do a wedding. Don't know the people at all. No background, just rocked up, bang, ceremony, full tears.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, imagining this moment and how their stories, and I'm just like, oh my God, don't even know them.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me?
Yeah, and it's really hard because you get this almost like secondhand guilt for it, right? Like when I've had a friend pass away, and it's like they were a friend, but they weren't like my best friend. I'm really feeling it, and like I'm experiencing deep grief, but then it's that comparison of like, well, I'm not their best friend, and I'm not their partner, I'm not their family. How dare I sit here and be more upset looking than anyone else in this place?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we feel everything so strongly, and I think that kind of relates back to, I know we spoke about HSP with Dan, like that really highly sensitive, like not over feeling, but like very intense feeling of emotions.
Yeah.
I think Des has said this too. I used to have
Oh,
to be very careful when I would read novels. If the writer did too good of a job, I could easily bring that into their real life. Absolutely, 100%.
I think Des said something similar exactly. I cannot watch certain types of movies because I feel the person's situation too realistically. My gift is perspective. Even if someone has been mean, I can see the multiple sides of the situation and kind of backtrack where things went off the rails or what am I? 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I'm the same. I have to be really careful what I consume and who with and like when. Because it's it's interesting, and it is like, it's not just negative feelings though. So I use the example, like I rewatched Friends recently and like watched the final episode, and the sincere grief I felt over Matthew Perry. I can't actually explain that. Yeah. Like I grieved him more than I've grieved like losses in my real life. Yeah. Because of the way that I felt a relation to him and his struggle. Yeah. But even like New Girl, when the couples get together and they break up. It's the same with Ross and Rachel in Friends. No, but you can turn me on. No.
Can we tell that Mel a little?
Possibly.
Maybe
I know
Simon.
I'm a bit quiet. That's a side job. It's alright.
Simon.
It's not terrible for now. It'll be alright. Like when couples get together, and sometimes like I think I said that to you last night. I'm like, that triggers that kind of thing where I'm like, man, I want a person and I want a relationship like that. But then in my real head, I know that that's a sitcom and that's not really how that works anyway. Like that's not going to happen. Yeah. But the empathy side can pick up on those things and make you feel, or like when a character has a baby in a movie, I'm like, oh, maybe. And I'm like, no.
You're like, hang on a second, stop.
Maybe, no.
Yeah.
But it does. It's like, well, maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, that might be nice. And then I'm like, no, it wouldn't, because this isn't a sitcom. This is real life.
Chiga, I'll have to send you.
Erin sent me some good memes last night.
Yep.
I sent Erin a message. Oh, I'm okay. I don't care. We've long joked that Erin and I are in sync. I ovulate when she gets her period. She ovulates when I get my period. We're like in perfect anti-sync. Yep. I think it's for the best because that way we can each be there for each other when we're having PMS.
Mel messaged when I found out she was having a period. I'm like, Mel, does this mean that I'm ovulating now? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay, good, got it.
I said, I'm tired, but I'm in bed. Got the SADS for no good reason, lol. And you were like, don't be sorry, it's your period. She's such a bitch. Um,
And then a series of period memes.
yeah.
Followed.
After I said, I know it's my period when it isn't just sad. It's no one will ever love me. Maybe I do want to get married and have a baby. And why isn't anyone snuggling me right now? Sad, which never happens any other time. I'm repulsed by people all the rest of the time. And then you said, I found some memes, and then the memes began.
I'll have to-
There's
I'm
some
gonna
good memes.
I'll post them in the Discords. Thank you,
I even sent
Chelsea.
you a photo of me in bed with cookies and chicken Smith chips. That's what I was saying about binging, huh? Thank you, Chelsea. That's so sweet. So that's what Erin and I talk
Yeah.
about most of the time.
Yep.
It's just like the things that you wouldn't really talk about in public, but then we do.
I'll have to do like a warning, like a warning in the Discord of the following. If you're not into,
May contain.
maybe don't.
What we should do, we need to remember at the end of this year, we should do a what Erin and Mel texted each other in 2024. I've
Just
seen a
random
couple of like best friends do those.
That's
of like
cool.
just the random shit. I think that would be really funny.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
We'll do
Hey,
it.
Rish.
Hey, Rish. Happy following.
Des, so I know I kind of want to lean into this about the empathy part because there's something else that maybe that Des said about like what Des said boyfriend loves and hates my perspective gift. It's great because I can stop an argument like, wait, there was a misunderstanding, but also if he is mad and I explain was probably taken wrong by whomever he's mad at, then he can't be mad at them anymore. Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah.
the other thing about it though, Tucker. Thank
And
you
it's
for your
really
resub.
funny. I
Great.
want to say this because I have this written down. Taco.
He said, greatest SMS 2024.
Hell yeah, it was. That was probably not the best text you've sent me in 2024, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
I wrote down for you that you're always thinking of the why.
Yes.
And I do, but I notice this is a difference between you and me. You are always thinking of what might have caused someone to act the way they did.
Yeah.
I think the difference between us is that I think about it, but I think you sometimes allow people to treat you badly because of it.
Yeah,
I don't
that's probably
excuse
true.
it. And I'm not saying that you excuse it. I'm just saying that we definitely both think about why is someone acting this way, but I'm less inclined to
Mull on it.
forgive them the repercussions
And-
of
yeah.
their actions still.
Yeah,
And you'll
that's
quite
true.
often let people, not necessarily like, treat you like shit because you're like, well, they're going through a hard time. And I'm like, that doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, it can explain it, but it doesn't excuse it. And
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
I'm very quick to forgive, which is very annoying
Yeah.
at times. Like, I'll be like cracking the shit. I'll be like, this person did on this, like, but then all someone has to do is like apologize and be genuine about it. And I'm like, I'll excuse everything. Let's just go.
Yeah.
And that's been a downfall of me in the past where people can usually know they can walk all over me because I'll be like, okay, they apologized, blah, blah, blah.
And again,
It's-
blessing and a curse, right? Like, it's nice.
Yes.
I've found, like...
It's
'cause
the
we've
lack
had
of
this
and trying not to
discussion
hold a
before.
grudge because you're like,
Yeah. But it's a good thing in that, like...
I can hear
know
that.
for us... What's he doing?
oh, I can hear him listening to the stream.
Oh, okay. Right.
Actually, maybe it's my mum.
Like, you...
Should I just shut the
there's
door?
the curse...
Okay, 1 second. I'm just gonna shut the door.
No, you're right.
That's okay, Simon.
There's the curse bit where it's like, definitely you can sometimes maybe forgive too much. But then it's also a blessing in that I know we've had the discussion about how I have some really severe social anxiety. And
Thanks,
you're always
Taco.
like, I'm really sorry if I do that to you. And I'm like, I try to explain to you why you don't. I actually think it's that. It's that I know if I do make a little fuck up, it's not going to be like, you're going to understand why, but
Yeah.
also know that, like, my intent, my heart. I always feel really weird saying that because it's something they say in church, like, I know your heart, and God knows your heart, and things. But anyway, but it's true, right? Like, my intent. I would never
Yeah.
maliciously do something to hurt you or anyone. Does that excuse it if I do? No, but I know that you're going to give me a chance to talk it through.
Yes.
So I don't have as much social anxiety because I'm not constantly terrified that I'm just going to fuck it up and you're going to be like, peace out. Because I've seen situations where you've not pieced out that I think I could not possibly do something that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, that sounds really bad, but
Yeah.
it has been the case over the year or whatever, however long we've been
Yeah.
friends, where things have come up where I'm like, okay, I can't do that, therefore I'm probably okay. you know, and so there's a sense of security. So it's like a double-sided thing, right? Like I think it's your own judgment sometimes.
Yes, for sure.
But I think overall, it's a very good trait that you're always thinking about why might someone be acting the way they are.
Exactly.
In a way that it maybe doesn't affect you as much as well when you like get a troll or something.
Yeah, and so basically what Taco said as well. Like he said, I don't view it as a downfall. I view it as a great uniter kind of skill set, much diplomat. Yeah, and so I think Dolan just said a similar thing about that. You know, when you say something or you write something in text, it can be taken the wrong way as well. I think I'm much quicker to kind of. I know from people around me where it's like people that are probably don't ask the why 100-fold over are very quick to kind of just disconnect and be like, because they're a dick or because this has happened, or it's like they've got because they're evil because of this, you know, and I yet will look at the side and go, well, hang on a second, people don't do things for no reason. So people don't. And for like even for really serious things, and this probably comes from me watching like crime, murder things. Yeah. And you go, but why? People didn't just wake up and decide, I just want to kill people, like for no reason, like whatever it is. And sometimes that can be hard to have a conversation with people about because you're not making excuses for the actions that someone did, but it's like, but why did that? How did they get to that point? What's happened in their life? And if you're on the same path and that happened to you, you could probably end up in the same way. Like all of our choices or in our environment, and that's why I always want to ask the question, because I'm like, I feel like I just need the answer, and it's probably why I found breakups so difficult, because I knew, and it's probably, this is another thing, the ADHD is the lie detector, the internal lie detector. It's like, why can't people just be honest with me and tell me the truth? And then it becomes the whole, well, is it me? Why are they're saying it's this? But that doesn't make sense. And it's being able to connect those dots. And you go, but you're saying this, or if something this happened, it doesn't make sense. Why did they do this? Maybe because of this. Why did that happen? How did that get to there? Because of this. And then you trace it back and go, okay, that's the root cause. That's understandable. Or that makes sense because of this. Right, I get it now. Now I can let it go. Like
it's enough to let you process it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I think I do similar, but I have I also protect my peace a little bit more now. Like there are things where I'm like, I understand why this happened and why they did that, but it would actually be wrong of me to let it go because then they don't understand that isn't appropriate. Yeah. Or that they can't do that to me because while it might have been an accident once, if I let it happen again, it's, hurt me once, shame on you, hurt me twice, shame on me because I let you do it again.
Can I ask you about that saying? I've always had a problem with that saying because I'm like, I always feel like everybody deserves a second chance, right? So if they do it a second time,
I think it depends
shouldn't it
on
be
what it is.
the third? Like, yeah, because I'm always like, if someone fooled you, then it's like, okay, I'm sorry, all right, I'll give you a second chance. Then they do it again.
But they shouldn't be able to fool you again the second time, and that's the point. You shouldn't be, if, I see that as something like being cheated on. I'm like, if you cheat on me, one, I don't do second chances for that ever. Yeah. Like, I've been there, done that when I was a lot younger, and guess what? Sorry,
nothing changed.
Once a cheater, they don't change.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the same way as I was sort of talking about, if you give them another chance, or you say, I know why they did this, so I'm going to let it go, they're going to do it again. And for me, it's about knowing when it was a genuine mistake and when it was something where it'll happen again. So it depends on the thing.
I think it depends on the people and the circumstances as well. I cheated
Max,
when I was younger.
Maybe not everyone cheats again, but guess what? They're not going to cheat on me again because I'm not going to let them.
Yeah, because you've broken that trust.
Exactly. Go establish a relationship with someone else and learn your lesson.
Yes.
But I'm not here to fix people.
I'd agree with that.
And I reconciled way too many people who cheated on me as a younger person, and I don't do it anymore. I refuse. Sorry, if you don't have... Okay, this is going to come across brutal, and I'm sorry, but I'm not. If you don't have the self-restraint and care about me and the foresight about me to keep it in your pants, then you don't love me all that much. And I really don't care, because something like making a decision like that as an adult, there are like several hundred points along that spectrum where you could have gone, oh, fuck, shit, I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
And you chose not to. Or you did and ignored them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think so, Ash. And look, I'm sure there are people who do, and good for them, but I couldn't do that to myself. I respect myself too much. And I'm not saying that people who go back don't respect themselves. It's just, for me, that's a personal choice. That
Yeah.
it's never ended well. You know?
It can, and especially what people have been through, and every situation is
Yeah.
different as well. What the circumstances are at the time, what people, their personalities, like what, there are so many factors that lead in, which is which is
Right.
fine for you to, like, in wherever you're at in your life and what you've been through and the experiences you've had and emotions you've attached to it. There are some people you just go, I can't.
And I just,
you know,
I will clarify.
that's
Sorry,
absolutely-
Max. Max was talking about not everybody deserving a second chance. Sorry, that read with what I said made it sound like you were saying not everyone who cheats should not be forgiven. So, no excuse. Yeah, I don't think there needs to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can go. It's the same way. I'm like, if you abuse a position of power, Twitch. Class example. You're in a position of power over your viewers, whether you like it or not, right? This is a parasocial relationship to some extent when you're a content creator. You abuse that. Should you be forgiven? Sure, but that doesn't mean that you get that position of power back.
Yeah, sure.
And it's the same thing for me. I'm like, should you be forgiven? Sure, I can forgive you. But that doesn't mean that I'm just going to let you go straight back to what you were doing like nothing ever happened. If you abuse the platform or the situation or the context that you were in, you no longer deserve that.
Yeah.
You don't get that back because why should, that's where it's like, shame on me.
Yeah.
If we let people like that back into those positions. It's like letting someone who, abused kids be a teacher. It's just like, no, you don't get that.
Yeah.
You can go teach adult ed,
Yes.
but you don't get that kind of context back. And I think it's the same thing for me. We've diverged, but that's fine. One thing I did want to say, Erin, that you were talking about connections and how you were able to connect. I think that you're like that, and it's interesting being the artist of a song called United, that you are a connector and a uniter. Because you make, and this is just my observation, and I would love your insight on it. I think that it's interesting that I think you connect people based on joints or like connections you make in your brain, and I'm very much the same, but I notice that a lot of my friends are connectors, where it's like, you like this, I know this person separate to you who likes this thing, and you connect them together, and they become friends. And I think, that's certainly been the case. I think we're in like a weird hexagonal, at this point, like with all of the, Dans and Suarez and Max and whoever else, Taco, all of these people, we all sort of connect through common interests. But I think that you're very much a connector because you store all of these things that you know about a person in your brain, and when someone else triggers that, you're like, oh, that person likes that.
Yeah.
You guys should be friends because that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you connect them.
Yes.
And I think, that's another ADHD superpower of yours.
Thank you. I never really thought of it like that, but yeah.
I think it's true.
Hi, Doc. What's up?
Hi, Doc.
Yeah, it's... I just got flustered.
Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. It's a compliment, and it's true. You are very much a connector, and I actually engage with a lot of connectors. A lot of my friends are connectors, because I'm not.
Now you just made me want to go and get a giant Connect. Simon and I talked about getting this a while ago, getting a giant Connect 4 thing, like a life-size one, and playing it on stream.
We should play Guess Who, but change all of the faces out for our friends.
That's great.
But you're not allowed to do anything on appearance. It has to be about like qualities or things that they like, or like you can't talk about their appearance. I did this at work. I made one for work, and it's like, you're not allowed to talk about appearances. You got to talk about like, what do they do? What do they like? What are they working on? Where do they sit? Like stuff like that.
Where are
I
they
reckon we can
located
make
in the
one
world?
out of us and our streamer friends.
That would be great. That sounds like a great idea.
What do they stream? And yeah, we should do it.
I like that
Anyway.
a lot.
It would be a great ADHD game. I was always really good at Guess Who because of my brain.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another ADHD thing. We're really good at like those kind of things.
Would you? Okay, so because of this is where I wonder with. I struggle, and I would think that I should excel at this what I'm about to say, but I don't. Things like the what are they called? Sorry, escape rooms, or like figuring out, like, you know, the who am I? Like, oh, I know the who am. That's probably not really a great one. Like, puzzle stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not great at that. It's like if you've got this and like, you know what I mean? And like escape rooms, they give you like instructions to try and get out. I don't know why. Like, I know I am intelligent enough that I should know these things, but I'm terrible at it. And I wonder if it's because I get it's an overstimulated environment that I'm all taking all the things at once and I just get confused. I'm just like, I can't think straight. It's like I lose focus.
I'd like to speculate if I can.
Please do.
I work very well under pressure when it's my pressure. I don't work well under pressure when there's someone else relying on me immediately.
Yeah.
So if you're in an escape room, there's other people waiting for you to figure it out.
Yes.
And so maybe it's that, because I work, like, one of the things I wrote down was that I work very well under stress and I can achieve a lot very quickly if I need to. Again, at my own detriment. It's not something you want to be doing a lot of, but when I need to, I can crack the whip and get a lot done.
Yeah.
Like, if I can be sitting in the car going, I have a to-do list out the wazoo, but I can get it done in an hour sometimes. I sit down and put my head down and start it. It's done in an hour and I'm like, oh, that really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be at all.
Yeah.
But that's when I don't have, but if I was sitting with someone waiting for me to finish something, I would crumble under the pressure of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to let people down.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that. Like, I've never done an escape room, so I don't know how I would go in that situation, but I know that I can, like, even on stream, like, I'm playing a game at the moment that, you know, I've needed a little bit of help with here and there, and when that help isn't there, I sometimes just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't do it. Even though it's not hard, I just, sometimes I can't get there.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the situation. It depends how much familiarity there is, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, is it something that you're used to doing every day? You know, like, for me, I can work really well under pressure when it's my job, but I know how to do all those things and I know what I need to do with them. I just have to do it.
Yes.
As opposed to having to figure out, like, you need a first step. And if you don't have it, it's quite hard. Maybe.
Yeah. Especially when it's, I definitely think it's like you said, if it's not something that I'm used to doing or I haven't learned yet, like, it's like, it's not, this is where I feel like a dum-dum because I'm
and actually,
like,
I think that can make it worse.
Yeah.
If I'm like, I feel really stupid right now, I just check out.
yeah.
Like, completely. And that's why, like,
I guess it's different if you
ADHD
learn.
tend to be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Yes.
Because we're good at when, like, I can play guitar and piano and ukulele medium. Like, I know most of, like, the common chords and I can play, but I never learnt strumming patterns or picking patterns or anything like that, because that's when it starts to get hard.
Yeah.
And when it starts to get hard, I've checked
frustrated.
out.
Yeah.
And I've played guitar for, like, since I was in high school, and same
Wow.
with piano, but I never got good because I never, one, went and got lessons, but two, I'd achieved what I needed to. I can play along with a song and sing it, and that's kind of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I never got good. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, maybe but I also, it doesn't upset me that much because I'm like, I can do what I need to do here. And so I've checked out because I'm like, it's hard now and I'm no longer interested.
Yep.
Because it's hard.
Yep.
And I think that we tend to be that way. I'm really medium at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of things.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't expect for,
Yeah, I'd
like,
probably
for
agree.
no
I'd
reason.
agree. Yep. I'd
And
agree
so
with
it's
that.
probably that as well. It's like, we can pick up new things very easily when it's in a way that we learn with. But when it starts to get too hard, our brains just go, I'm going to look really stupid
Yeah.
while I learn this, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Dollinger, that's really sweet. Thank you. I'm glad you are here too. Glad you found it here too. And Aussie Ash, bang, spot on too. My short-term memory. Would you say that's another thing? Like, that's the other good thing I think is probably a part of our superpower as well is long-term memory.
Yes, I actually
Like, I'm great at recalling things.
I have
like,
written down.
I can see somebody's face that I did maybe a few months at kindergarten with when I was 4 or 5.
Days,
and-
phone numbers.
But yeah, I can see like that person was
Yeah.
a child, like was an infant almost, and I could see them as an adult and go, that's that person and that's their name, and I'd be like, how the fuck can I remember that? Yet I can't remember what happened yesterday.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
but-
the same. But I will remember what happened. Like, and I actually worry about that sometimes. I think for me, some of my long-term, like, I have long-term memory, but not for life things. And so part of that for me is PTSD. I have very few memories up until sort of, the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is PTSD. I think that my brain just
Shut
puts
it
that
off.
away.
Yeah.
As habit now, even though not necessarily with the, like the last 10 years weren't necessarily traumatic. At the same time, that's just what I'm used to now.
Yeah.
And so I have very bad long-term memory for events, but I have very strong, and we spoke about this previously with Simon because he was the same. I have very good object memory, so I'm like, oh, that's that place. Now I need to go left and then right, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Like that kind of memory, as well as like redundant. I mean, you've seen me in trivia with the fact that questions. Very redundant, like phone numbers, childhood phone numbers, emails,
Yep.
birthdays. Like I get triggered, I'll go like, today is something, who, and it's like some random friend I haven't spoken to for 10 years.
Yeah.
I will always remember people's birthdays. Like I will always remember important dates.
Yeah.
But my short-term memory is fucking atrocious. Like I have to put everything in my calendar to like the minuscule. If I'm like, oh, you want to have lunch tomorrow on our lunch break? Oh yeah, sure, in the calendar.
Yep.
Because otherwise I won't show up.
Yep.
Like it goes in I have like colors in my calendar. I can't show you because,
Yeah.
but like trivia goes in the calendar. Taylor Swift went in the calendar. My mum visiting went in the calendar. I have to pick up such and such from the airport. I sent my friend Ellen, a meeting invite the other day, just that I have to go pick up the cat to take it to the vet. And so I sent her a meeting invite for it to her work calendar.
Yep.
Because I'm like, between both of us, one of us will remember that I have to leave and come get the cat from you. So it's like my short-term memory is atrocious, but I'm very good at accommodating it. And everyone questions me. They're like, Mel, why is your calendar full? And I'm like, because I have many things to do. And they're like, yeah, but, like picking up this random thing from Bunnings is not really a calendar worthy. And I'm like, no, it is. Because if I don't, I won't do it.
And it creates a lovely multicolour display.
I can probably actually, from a very far distance, show you what my calendar looked like last week. I don't think there's anything particularly... So here's what my calendar looks like in a month.
Yeah, nice.
It's my monthly calendar. It's color-coded. Red is for personal things, so I have streams. Even streams are in
Red was
right?
my... What was red? Rehearsals.
Yeah.
My rehearsals colour.
So I have our podcast in here.
Yep.
I have Richard's streams
Yep.
in my calendar so that I can then plan when I stream according to when Richard streams. Although you guys don't have a
random,
schedule, which
so
makes it hard because I always feel bad because I'm like, I would happily not stream when you are so that I will.
Absolutely
anyway.
fine.
I know, but I want to be anyway. So
Which we're trying. We're going to.
movie night are in my calendar.
Yep.
But then in purple is work stuff, so meetings, things I have to do during the workday.
That's
And then
perfect.
light pink is like my personal time planning. So it's like I have afternoons booked out that are just for admin tasks.
Yeah.
So that I don't book meetings during those times. But no one needs to know that they're there. I'm still available to everyone.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not booking a meeting during this time because I need to do some admin. Otherwise I will find myself like this week
Yeah.
where I sit down at 4 p.m. on Friday and I'm like, got 100 emails. And I'm like, well, I'm working late tonight. Like,
Yep.
So planning is definitely one of my ADHD superpowers. And I know you've said this about me before. So
It's-
I'm not
yeah.
like, it's something I'm very proud of because I was a fucking mess 10 years ago and I've worked really, really hard to get my shit together.
Yeah.
But I have to work very hard to maintain it. If I let it go, it's gone.
Yep.
And I now do so many things in a week that I will let someone down if I don't write everything down. And there is nothing that feels worse to me than that. That's probably the worst feeling in the world for me is when I've forgotten someone.
Yeah.
I never want someone to feel forgotten.
Of course.
For me, that's like something that's a superpower. Not in that it's innate to me, but in that I've had to work very hard at it.
Yeah. And that's, I think, something that a lot of us struggle with. So for you to be able to overcome, like, so when, like, in a sense that it's, like you said, it's not, obviously that's the planning things and the remembering things and organizing things is something it's a struggle for a lot of people with ADHD. So the fact that you've been able to overcome that, that's a superpower in itself.
It is, and it's something I have to balance, right? Because most normal people aren't like that, and I can accidentally get naggy. And I don't mean to, but it's like, if it comes into my head, like, not saying it's necessarily naggy, but like with the Christmas cards I'm doing for you right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, can you check those and come back to me? Because it's like, I need to get that done by today so that it can go there, so I can do this, so I can do that. I'm looking like
I'm
weeks
sorry.
down the line. So I'm like, no, you got it done. It's fine. We got there. But that
It's great
same
because-
time pressure isn't something that you're feeling about it, but it's something that I feel about everything.
Yeah.
I have everything, but I'm going to get this done at this time, and it's going to, like, I've got an hour spare here, so then I'll do this, and then I'll do that, and then this will happen, I'll send to this person, and, like, all these connections happen in my brain, and so it's the same. I'm like, what are we doing this weekend? I need to know so that I can decide whether or not I make other plans and what I do, and I don't want to, like, I get very upset, very, very upset when things get cancelled last minute.
Yeah.
My friends and I at this point, it's like we make tentative plans where it's like if someone pulls out, no one's upset because we all know it's like it might happen, not this is happening. And if I get ready and then an hour later before someone goes, I can't come, then I would get really upset.
Yeah.
Because it throws out everything.
Yes.
And suddenly I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself now. What am I meant to do? Where do I go? Like, I have no plans. And so while the superpower is that I've gotten very good at planning, the flip side to that is that the second any of that falls out,
It's frustrating.
it's not just frustrating, it like causes a full meltdown.
Yeah.
Like, and that's an autism thing actually for me. Like, I need to, like, ADHD and autism are like the antithesis of each other. They're enemies. And so for someone who has both, it can be really hard because your ADHD wants no structure. It's like, fuck yeah, like, you know, like frat party vibes. And on the other hand, you've got autism where it's like I need structure and routine, and like, and they just fight each other.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to have structure and routine, but I know that my life will fall apart if I don't have structure and routine. And that's why, like, I always joke that my love language is someone parenting me.
Yeah.
I'm like, for a day, just like make sure that I eat and take my meds and drink water and go to the things that I need to go to, and that I'm ready to get out the door on time.
Yeah.
And that will actually take so much mental load off of me that it would be better than any Christmas present you could ever give me.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it just causes full meltdown.
Did you hear that, Simon?
Dollinger, I'm the same sometimes. I'm somewhat routine based and I kind of like knowing exactly what's happening when. Yeah, same. I don't thrive. Like, I need it occasionally, and it's a balance because I need to not be needed sometimes.
Hydrate, Mel.
And Aaron.
No, that was Taco. Taco said it.
I just said hydro. I just mixed hydrate and taco together.
Hydro.
Hydro. Which is what old people call the water bill, or the power bill. In Tasmania, anyway. Is that it? Have you ever heard that phrase before?
What?
It's because in Tasmania, your power bill, they will call it the hydro bill. And it's because Tasmania is almost exclusively run on hydropower because of, like, the dams. It's water power.
Yeah, of course.
And so it's the hydro bill.
That makes sense.
So that's something that only I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's fine. It's like how, you know, like grandparents still call it, like, you know, Woolworths Safeway.
Oh, yeah. I've
In
done
our
that
case,
before,
it's
and I'm
called
accidentally like,
Purity.
Safeway. I'm like,
It was never called Safeway for us. Tasmanian Woolworths was called Purity.
it's called
When it's
what?
like, I'm going to Purity. Purity, as in exactly what you think it is. Yeah, Purity. Purity.
Okay.
And then Coles was
How
called
pure
Ralph
were
Lauren. I don't know. I was barely born when it was called that. So Dollinger remembers the hydro. Dollinger, are you Tasmanian?
Yeah,
Really?
I think so. I'm fairly certain.
But then why didn't
hydro.
I give Dollinger a high five over Christmas? If I'd known that Dollinger was in Tassie, I would have made like at least half an hour to go like ruin Dollinger's Christmas. Like, hey, it's me, Jingle
Oh, no.
Bells, motherfucker.
And Dollinger's in Canberra.
Canberra.
Sorry, my bad. Why did I say that?
Oh, well, maybe Canberra is also on hydropower.
Could be, yeah. Born in Hobart, moved
Born
to
in
Canberra in 93.
Hobart. Oh, we didn't cross over. Sorry, Dollinger. I'll be born earlier next time. I'll work on it. Just, Mum, if you could just do that 3 years earlier, that'd be sick.
Next time I'll ensure that, you know, when we get reincarnated, we'll be closer to we'll close the gap.
If
Close
I
the
could be
gap.
born in 1992, that'd be really good. And then I'll be, no,
Close
actually,
the
no,
gap.
because I don't want to be 32. That's okay, actually. No, it's okay. I'll be 27. How old am I? Am I 27 or 28?
Wow.
I can't remember. You're not 32.
No, I'm older than that.
I know. I was only specifically picking on being 32.
Okay.
I think we can all agree that we don't want to be 50. So, does Simon have his? Oh, he's watching the stream. Shit. I was like, oh, he doesn't have his in. He's in. He can't hear me.
He's gonna storm in.
If I'm not in a mod in 30 seconds, you know what?
1992 just happened, didn't it? Well, I should be.
That's how it became the bicycle.
You know, it's weird. You know, the other thing is, I'm gonna say, the planning thing, right? And the organizational thing, and the having instructions or having unknowing. Like, actually, no, it does make sense that it's an ADHD thing, but it doesn't. It's kind of conflicting as well. It's when I just recall things when I've had a dance gig, or a music gig or something. Actually, it was specific when I was doing a lot more dancing, and so we had shows, and I was at a dancing gig, and I remember rocking up, and so we learned the dance, but there were things that we had to do for the stage and for the it was a corporate event, and it was very odd. We just do this, and I was like, I was getting very confused at certain things that happened, and we weren't getting specifics, which really did my head in, because I was like, no, I don't understand. No, but hang on, what door do we come out of? Because nobody's told what door am I supposed to come in? When am I going off? Which wing am I using? At what point does this happen? What block am I supposed to be on the stage? Like, all certain and people are like, it's fine, like, you know, and I'm like, no, it's
Go
not.
with the flow. Go with the flow doesn't work. It's like,
Which
I
is
need to
weird.
know where I need to be and when and why and where.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. I totally get that. I'm exactly like, people are like, oh, well, let's just meet here and we'll figure it out. No,
I need to know
and
what
I
I'm
was
doing.
always the same when I was a drama kid.
Yeah.
Because
Night, Des.
despite common belief, good night, Des. Take care. You can watch the VOD. Woo. Be on YouTube. Hi everyone on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Hi YouTube friends. It's with everything, but that was one of the reasons I grew up dancing and then quit because I didn't like the environment. But then I became drama kid, which is where the people who gave up on dancing because they didn't like the environment went to thrive, like a Glee Club. I was a drama kid. I did all the school musicals. You know, like I had my, I'm not an Erin, but I can hold a tune. And so I did all of the musicals and singing and did some leads, and it was a lot of fun. It was something I loved and I would love to do eventually again. I see some cool community theatres out there. I could rock that. I could be in like Bugsy Malone, the music. That's actually one of the musicals I did. I was one of the men in Bugsy Malone, of course, because I'm an alto. Therefore, Chris play a man. But hi, Swill. Swilsigus?
Swilly.
Swilly.
Swills.
Only Shay Love. I'm cancelled.
Swills.
But yeah, I get it. It's like I didn't cope with that. It's like no, I need to know where I need to be and at what time. And actually, that was why drama was really good for me, because it was like, you're in places at 7:02 p.m. and you will be there. Hi, Simon. Sorry, Simon.
Huh? I don't translate. Oh. Can you bring me something?
What?
I don't know. The moon?
Moon.
Yeah.
You need to specify which
In the fridge.
food.
The moon fridge.
We really need one. We need a button that I can press that just does the 7 hours later sound.
7 hours later. You understand what I mean now, don't you?
No, because your mum told.
Oh. Thank you. My mum knew. She yelled out.
Mum's got it. Mum speaks Aaron. But yeah, so I totally get it. It's that lack of structure or that go with the flow, like it's like the anxiety that causes.
Yes.
And it's just constant anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't cope well with situations that I did not plan in my head. Like today I got stuck at the protests again, which I kind of, I expected it this week. And I wasn't in a rush.
Yeah.
But it still caused
Annoyed.
me, a little bit of stress. But also, I had to get to Exhibition Street because that's where the coffee is. And so I decided it was worth it.
Okay. I have a question for you then. So, because of that thing, it's like when you get... okay. Traffic. If you've... In GPS, or say if you know a way to get home, so it's just your usual, the way you would go home, right? And you hit traffic. Do you... there doesn't need an A and a B. Do you stay en route, however you want to say, en route in the traffic and just go the directions that the GPS. I say you put so sometimes I'll put the GPS in just to go, okay, go, and just see what the traffic is. And then I get stuck in the traffic and I go, no, do you stay in and then just trust the GPS and just go with it? Or do you go, I know a better way, or, that's a street that has no traffic, I'm going to try and go around?
It depends on the situation for sure. Mm-hmm. If it's traffic, like forecast traffic and it's just cars, then I will trust the GPS. Mostly I'm fairly new to Melbourne. Yeah. And it's only ever bitten me in the ass when I've decided to question the GPS. Yeah. Like it's never worked in my favor. But also then it's like I might think I'm like, that looks like a reasonable way to go, but then I get to the end of it and the next road's closed off or it's a one-way street. And I'm like, well, now I have to turn around and do the U-turn of shame. Yeah. If it's something like today where it was the protests where Google Maps could not reasonably, like it was saying 12 minutes from my place to the coffee shop on Exhibition Street. Yeah. It could not reasonably know where those protesters were going. And I want to be clear, firstly, to the protesters. I'm sure you're not watching, but if you are, I'm with you. I support you. I will sit in traffic for you. It's fine. Do I get overstimulated by it? Yes. But that is not as bad as, the brutal murder of an entire population. So it's fine. I stand with you. And so in that situation is where I'm like, I got this. I can see they're there. This is what's closed. I'm going to turn around and go this way. Yeah. Today I decided, I was like, I can see that this is the tail end of it. I'm just going to wait it out because I really want my coffee and I'm not in a rush and I don't have to be anywhere. This was like midday, so I got hours on my hands. Yeah. So, but I still, when I got to where I get my coffee, I still like pulled over and it was right where the police were like closed off the road. And I pulled over and jumped out of the car to get my coffee and one of the police officers was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just a little overstimulated from sitting in traffic, and I know that this is only like a 2-minute pullover zone, but I just need like a couple, and they were like, it's fine, like don't worry, like, yeah, I mean, well, the road was closed, so I didn't really care what I was doing sitting near it anyway. But I was like, I just need to get my coffee and just stand for a moment, because like I get a little bit stressy, especially driving in the city, because I'm constantly like, I'm in a work car, I'm like, did I, go over that white line a bit too much? I probably shouldn't have run that orange. Like, all these things that overstimulates me in that traffic situation. Yeah. And so it's more that than it is. And like, I'm like, there's other people start to act stupid when things aren't the same. I've ascertained, by the way, I'm going to offend a few people here. 2 things. Well, maybe 3. Yes, 3. If they're breaking the law, it's an Audi or a BMW. If they're driving like someone stole their seeing eyeglasses, it's Camry. If they're driving like they have a big dick, it's one of those American like trucks that don't fit in any of our car parks anymore. Or a Commodore. Because why the fuck are you driving that, you idiot? You live in a metropolis. Yeah. You don't have to drive through the snow in Canada. So that's what I'd like to share. I have a lot of time to think when I'm in the car, and that's what I've come to there's no other car I have commentary on. Or BMW, you're a P-plater driving a Jaguar. Honestly, even they are pretty good because they're still so new to driving that they've got the, like, I'm still going to let someone in and I'm not going to be a dickhead. Like, at least in Melbourne, Brisbane is a whole different can of worms when it comes to driving. There's a reason it's called the Queenslander, like. I've driven in Melbourne for a long time. There are many dickheads. But I've found that maybe it's the maybe don't the let red you peas in. Versus green peas, but like I feel like there's still some of that nervousness in early P-platers where they'll like let you in and like maybe that's different because a little bit more compassionate. Because that was never around when in my day. Yeah, but you can't have like you can only drive on your own, can't you? Or like with certain you can have passengers during the day and certain family members and things like you can have one passenger unless they're immediate family, etc. Yeah, right. But so maybe they're all just driving with their mums. Yeah. So their mum's like, how dare, slow down. Like my mum. But the worst that I deal with is usually like I will give, and actually this is an ADHD superpower. I was talking with a friend about this when I was driving home because we both do this. I actually think this might be a little bit of an autism thing, more than ADHD. Predictive driving. I can tell what someone's going to do before they've even decided to do it when it comes to driving. I'm like, I'm giving this person space because they moved an inch that way and therefore I don't really trust what they're doing. 10 seconds later, they throw on their brakes and switch lanes or cut out or throw themselves into an exit. And I'm like, knew it. They would have hit me. I'm like,
I'm back
so switched onto it. And I was informed by a friend who has a bit of a fear of driving with other people. That's the reason they'll only drive with me and no one else.
Yeah.
And it's because I like predict stuff before it even happens and I'm very reactive.
Yep.
Like my reaction time in a car,
Yes.
like put me in a V8 and I'd probably be very good on a racetrack if I wasn't so scared of danger. But I think it's like I'm danger averse as well as like very, very good at predicting what someone's going to do.
Same.
And it's like those kinds of cars, I give like 3 cars of gap between me and a Camry because I'm like, they don't know where they're going. Their Google Maps is going to be like, in 200 meters, turn left, and they're going to go fuck. And like just because they're either grandmas or taxi drivers and there's no in between.
Or they haven't updated their maps on their cars.
And you can tell
And
whether
it's
it's
like,
a
turn
grandma or a taxi driver or based on if there's a tissue box in the back of the car. Of the Camry. Melbourne, anyone living in Melbourne, come back to me next week and tell me I'm wrong. If they're doing something illegal in plain view of everyone, feeling like they're not going to get any consequences, it's a BMW or a Volkswagen. If they're driving like an idiot, if they're in a giant truck for no good reason, and it's usually like tiny man who's trying to make himself feel better.
Or it's an actual
and he
truck.
definitely bought it with his dad's money, or it's on a loan and he's going to wreck it and be out 20 grand for insurance. Or if they're driving like someone took their glasses and they can only see this far in front of their face, it's a Toyota Camry.
I drove a Toyota Camry.
Oh no.
Nice. Oh, do you?
Yeah. I'm a Toyota girl, but I'm a Toyota SUV girl. I'll always have a Toyota.
Well, that was my first car, was the Camry, and then the RAV.
Yeah,
both,
I
both
have
my mum's cars.
Now you have a Kia, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Still nice.
Cool.
But
I was trying to. I'm like, you don't have a Toyota now.
No, RAV4.
No. Yeah, my car before this was a Kluger, which is basically the Australian version.
My
of
dad's
Highlander.
car.
Yeah, I loved that car. It was a 2004 Kluger. It didn't look
think
like
he's the
2004.
No, he's 07.
I loved that car. It looked a bit older inside, but you couldn't really tell from the outside how old it was. And I loved that car. I bought it off my dad when he was getting a Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
Or something, a different Toyota. I love that car. Toyotas just drive so well. They're so safe.
Toyotas are great. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. I'm like, if
That's
someone,
why I always
if
say, get a responsible car like a Toyota.
Just get something that you're gonna live if you get in a car accident.
Yeah.
Like the amount of
They're
no
great.
offense, but like I can assure you that your little, Suzuki Swift or your little Kia Rio or whatever is not gonna save your life. If you get rear-ended, you're gonna be a little pancake. Like
Toyota Camry.
it may not be the cutest car, but like a Commodore or like a Mitsubishi like wagon, like some of those cars are built.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
An older shit-looking car can still be so much safer with good airbags.
Yep. It's funny you say all that stuff about the whole anticipating. I always say that, like, this is why I feel like I'm pretty good in traffic, except when I really go off book, and I'm like, I'm like, because I'm looking for an out. I'm like, if I know little secret, little other ways, like if I know the street like the back of my hand, I'm like, I can go this way. Sometimes it backfires, but
it does sometimes. My other thing that I'm really
frustrates me.
cognizant of with ADHD and driving is that I'm easily distracted.
I
have to be really careful to not squirrel. It's like if I'm distracted by something because, I don't know, like I just have to stop and do the thing. Usually if something's on my mind and I'm like, I have a 30-minute drive and I really want to send this message, I know that I'm going to be distracted by that until I just pull over and send the fucking thing.
Yes.
And then I will feel better.
Yeah.
Like, I have to get myself all set up. It's like I've got to have my water there and my coffee there and the right music on or the podcast or the book or whatever it is I'm feeling like I need to listen to. I have to have everything ready to go or I'm just going to be distracted the whole time or like, but I've also, I think I'm also always on the lookout because I'm always like, I don't know, there's something like I said, there's a signal on my head that says, empathetic, nice lady, if you are injured or dying and you are an animal, please appear here.
Yeah.
It's like, ergo.
Giddy. But we're always looking ahead, and that's the funny thing, because I know the amount of times when, and so I do that, and I think that's why I'm good, again, like in certain situations, where I'm like, if there's traffic, because I always look X amount of cars ahead, or I'm looking at, hey, what the lanes are doing way further up. Because if you're in one lane, you think, oh, this lane's moving right here faster. I'm going to go into that lane. I'm like, but it's stopped up there. There's no point in getting to this lane, get into the other lane, even though it's stopped now, but it's going bang, 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 bang up further. Or there's a spot there, or that car is doing that. Or, you know, it's the being able to see so much further and predict what's going on. And then as you go.
And that's it. It's like, my lane might have more traffic right now, but I can see that everyone ahead of me is moving into that other lane because they think, oh, well, this is going to be faster. And suddenly,
So then it's like, pew.
now there's no one in my lane.
Yep.
It's all of those kind of things.
It's 'cause you just
So,
saw four cars
I'm
go.
going to wait here because then I don't have the stress of having to try and get back into this lane because I need to turn right in a block.
Yeah.
Especially in the city.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like
Multitasking.
that really perceptive forecasting.
I've done that where it's like there's a turn off and that turn off goes straight back onto the freeway and the freeway is chock-a-block and I'm like, that one's just going, that's faster out. I'm just going to go and take the off and get back on because I'm going to be that much further ahead.
Yeah.
I like
And
that
that's,
little trick.
I really like Waze for that. Like Google Maps is very good and I use both for different purposes, but Waze is good because you can voice command it. It's like police. I feel like it's, and it'll just add a mark to the, like, so I can help other people as well.
Yeah.
It's like, not that,
At the
don't
roundabout.
speed and you won't get caught by the
left.
police. I think that, fair enough. Speeding's like the one where I'm okay with,
Yeah.
phone use and stuff. I don't like parking tickets, but I don't care. So, like, I'm okay with, I still think that fines should be income subjective, but that's fine. I can't be a passenger because I get motion sick. So, great news for me. If I will be like a dog if I'm in your car as a passenger, and I was in errands. If I'm a passenger, I'm like head out the window, just trying to inhale fresh air so I don't puke. I actually don't get vomit, I just get motion sick, and so I just get really like bad vertigo if I'm a passenger because suddenly I'm in a different space, like I'm in a different position than I should be in the car. So I always drive, always,
Except with me.
except with Erin. And in that case, like I said, it's just like. I sit there the whole time and I just have to, you're moving, you're in a car and you're moving. And like sometimes that helps me not get so sick because I'm just like, because motion sickness is essentially, obviously, you're moving and your brain doesn't think you are. Whereas simulation sickness, which I also get, interestingly, sorry, this is just me info dumping on something that's interesting to me. That's car sickness. Motion sickness, like the sort of motion sickness you'll get through video games is actually the opposite. You're not moving, but your brain thinks that you are.
My mum gets motion sickness. Where she's fine, like in a car. I can't remember if she reads that she gets sick as well. Simon does when if he's in the car and I ask him to check something and I'm driving, he struggles with that because he starts to feel sick. Whereas I'm like, I sit there on my phone, I'm like the whole time and don't feel sick at all.
And I get used to it eventually. Like I got used to trams. I'm okay. Like I'm fine on trains. And again, I can't explain this. Fine on trains. I'm okay on trams as long as I don't like read at length. Cannot do buses. Buses make me hurl.
You mean for Mel or for me, Taco? Because I lived in America. Well, not lived, as in I spent about 4 months there. So
me too.
Had no problem. No problem at all.
No problem for me as a passenger, interestingly. However, what you fail to account for is that it's the other side of the road.
Yeah.
So,
So you said different side of the road, but the same seat for you.
Same seat as in like you're in the drive. Technically, if you're in the other side, you're in the driver's seat, but you're on the other side of the road. So it's still the same problem. Everyone else, I'm fine. It's everyone else I'm worried about.
I just have a problem with. So I know when you're saying about being in the passenger seat as well. Poor Simon, because Simon again, most people generally just see what's in front of them, and so he said this.
Drivery.
I don't know what you're talking about. But it's because I see what's going on ahead, and so then I panic. And a lot of the times, my alert and Simon's like, I get more scared of you getting scared and alerting me to something than the actual thing, because I lose my ability to form words. In crisis, that's one actual shit thing. Because so I'll see something and I don't know why I can't actually form words, and I'll just go. I don't know. Literally, what I do is point and just. Stuff comes out, so I can't say what's wrong or what to look out for because it's just and so he's like, I'll do it.
And that panics him more than he misses the thing that was actually I get it. It's hard. It's a balance. Interestingly, the only other thing when it comes to driving, I know we've totally sidelined, but the other driving thing for me is that I have to like automate some of the tasks. Like I can't, it's going to make me sound like a really bad driver, and I'm not. I'm actually a very good driver, a very safe driver. But I struggle to keep an eye on my speed while also making sure that I'm within the lines. And so if I'm...
Have you not got
like,
the lane beeps?
My car has it, but it auto-corrects on me. And so at times, it will just decide that a line means a lane, and it's like, oh, you want to spend... You would like to enter the side railing, would you? And I'm like, no. Thank you. So it doesn't just have a warning, it's like a auto steer kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And so it's really cool when it works, but it's not great, and so I don't deal with it. I have not yet figured out, and I need to look at the manual, how to set up speed alert on my...
Okay. Yeah.
Because like I can set my speedo, like I can be like cruise control.
Yes.
But what I actually want is just beep at me if I'm going over the speed limit, because it reads
You're
the speed
over
limit.
the speed
like,
limit.
It always is like 40 or 60. Like it reads it off the signs. Although the only time that'll be a problem is in the city, because sometimes it picks up the tram speed limits, and it's like, this is a 15 zone, and I'm like, it's actually a 60 zone, but go off. But I think that will really help me if it beeps at me like your car does.
Yes.
It goes, you're going over the speed limit, because I'm not usually going over by much.
No. I've got a 3
It doesn't
kilometer
take
rate.
much when it's a 50. Yeah.
Yeah, you can give it
Like,
as a 3 kilometer radius, or you can just choose however much you want it to alert you that when you're going over.
Yeah. Exactly, Taco. I don't mind it beeping at me and being like, you're going too fast. I wouldn't want it to automatically slow me down. And like my cruise control in my car is very, very good and actually works. Like, and it will start and stop itself, and I really like that. But sometimes I don't want to cruise control. Like I like to drive.
Yeah.
But also sometimes it's not applicable. So it just, I think I need to find that feature. Anyway, that's total aside. We've gone into hindrances instead of superpowers. I'll bring us back into superpowers if you like.
Yes.
I would like to add perseverance in there, because we've spent our whole lives trying to function in a society that isn't made for us. And the perseverance that we have to have done that and still be relatively successful, human beings. We are very, very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Resilient?
Resilient. Thank you. I was going to say bouncy, like a ball. Always bounce back, or, resilient people. We've been through a lot. Both of us, we've both been through trauma, we've both been through a lot of hurt, and some of that caused by being undiagnosed women with ADHD. We've been in a society where it's like, and I've spoken about that this is quite hard for me looking back on baby Mel, like not even baby Mel, but 18-year-old Mel or 16-year-old Mel, and going, man,
If only,
if I knew, then at least
point.
it would have made sense why I didn't fit in with anyone socially.
Yeah.
Why I struggled at school despite being incredibly smart. And that's not, again, I'm not being like, I'm so smart, but I am. Like, that's one of my best qualities, is that I'm smart, but I'm not very good at communicating it. And so I didn't do well at school. And it's very, so we're very resilient people. We've both been through a lot. And I think that's, while not necessarily a superpower, it's something that I still think has reverence and needs to be acknowledged.
absolutely. Oops. Much louder than I expected.
Very loud.
That was much
I'm
louder
awake.
than I
Hello.
anticipated.
It was a bit loud. That's okay.
Simon.
But yeah, we're both very, very resilient and perseverant, and I think we will persevere through a lot. But I actually think that's a good thing, and we've achieved some pretty cool stuff together, just little things, but because we complement each other, like Bowlsmas.
I love balls.
Bowlsmas was so much fun.
It was great.
Or even
Very
the
interesting.
cards, some of that stuff is just we could have had the idea and been like, cool, and it never would have happened. But we're both the kind of people who's when we decide that something's going to happen, we're doing something,
Yes.
it's happening.
But I definitely,
Strict-giving.
I feel like that's a, I've really got to pee.
You go pee. I'll have a chat with chat.
Sorry.
We'll hang out.
Please remind me of this, because I've really
Does
got to
anyone
say
have
it.
any questions
I'm really gonna pee.
or thoughts, suggestions, general commentary? Here's what I want you to do. while Erin's peeing, I want you to put in chat what you think Erin's superpowers are. Please fill the chat with just positive things about Erin. And now you have to do it because otherwise I'm going to be upset at you if she comes back and this chat is not filled with just all of Erin's superpowers and things that she's good at. Quickly. Erin pees very fast. Type faster. Think faster. Sorry, I'm just bullying you all now. I don't mean to. I do. Yeah, women and girls were not diagnosed with ADHD almost ever. I didn't know a single girl with ADHD as a kid. And funnily, you also couldn't be diagnosed with both autism and ADHD, so I would never have been diagnosed with both of the things that I have. Taco. Hurry up, Taco. Taco. This is Taco SMR. Guys, Erin's back. Come on. Quickly. Hurry up.
I know. That was longer than usual because my pack fell out.
Oh no. Not into the toilet, I hope.
No. I've almost done that once before.
I bet you have. I have nearly dropped, like, if I've had my phone in my back pocket and go to pee, that's dangerous.
I've done that to a few phones.
I actually have dropped my phone in the toilet once doing that, but it lived.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. I remember I did it once with my current phone.
And it was a long time ago.
Oh my god. You know what? Doesn't matter.
I'm fine. Yeah.
I was gonna say, so everyone's like, Erin doesn't have superpowers. Erin.
Everyone was just, there were so many that no one could think of any. Come on, chat.
No, please don't.
You've really upset me. No, please do, because it's embarrassing for me. You've embarrassed me. You've made me look bad. You've made your father look bad.
I'll tell you what my superpower is. The ability to power pee. I think that's just a physical superpower.
It's probably
just a female.
Probably gonna end up with a prolapse later in life from aggressive, pushing out of pee.
Jack's like, that was impressive. Yeah. Almost too fast. What was the thing Yeah, I did. Sanitize. All right, God. What was I going to say before?
She sanitized them with an S, Taco.
It's Australia.
No Z in sanitize.
You did? I did.
You know how upsetting it is to me, though. I agree with the Americans on this. This might be the only thing I agree with them with.
Because it's sanitized, not sanitized.
Not that. That doesn't upset me. I'm okay with that. Z.
What about
T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. That sounds wrong.
I'm gonna be
Z. Z sounds way better. T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Z? Who the fuck decided it was Z? Sounds so, just doesn't sound nice. Z.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I will never say Z. You wouldn't catch me dead. Z forever. Z supremacy. Supremacy.
That sounds so South Carolina. Say way better again.
Way better?
Way better.
Way better. Way better.
Way better.
I'm trying to be better about my diction because every time I listen to the podcast back, I'm like, wow, all of those words sounded like one word.
That's so funny because I remember my mum always saying that I have terrible diction.
You have very good diction, and
maybe it's because I speak so fast that it sounds it's a mess.
You're also trained to enunciate, but I notice it in me when you've got to remember the content I consume.
Yes.
You, Dan, Richard. Compared to 3 professional performers, I, a normal person who isn't paid to do that, might sound a little bit bogan. And I think it's the combo of the Australian accent compared, it does my head in.
Yeah, tipsy.
Myself. And so I'm working on it because it's okay to see something in yourself and go, I'm not really happy with that because I wasn't always that way. And I don't know what I've consumed that has made me, I think maybe just COVID.
Yep.
Not COVID sickness, but just that I'm at home and not talking to a lot of people and I don't talk a lot during the day. Anyway, that's something I'm working on in myself and I am improving.
Yeah.
Slightly, but it's a mix of improving it, but also not overdoing it to the point where I sound weird.
So that you don't sound like this?
Exactly.
Deep water. Deep
what now?
trouble. Deep soil. Deep
Deep
end. Deep heat. Deep river. I haven't done these ones before.
No, I
Or
like
have
the
I?
deep.
Deep bath. Oh, yes, I have, because I remember the deep depression. I'm like, well, that's a pretty...
I'm really
that's
sad that your PT hasn't just put deep throat in there because that's actually a very good one. Every time you said deep, I'm waiting. I'm going, come on. Have a sense of humour, PT.
Do I say throat anywhere else? I think there is one somewhere. Rude. I'll tell her.
Because throat is a very good one.
Throat.
Hi, Tempsy Joy.
Tempy says, I'm not late. I don't have time awareness issues. Nope.
My favourite thing about that is that Tempsy sent me a DM before the podcast and then has clearly probably realised why I haven't replied immediately.
What is that? What's that clip?
Oh, just me going on about Zed for 30 seconds.
Nice. I'm trying to remember what it was that I was going to say before I went to the freaking toilet.
You were talking about, oh my god, I've totally forgotten.
Can anybody remember? I told you guys to remember.
We can go back and watch it if we need to. I can't remember.
Simon? God, doesn't remember. Clips don't go back that far. I
No,
know.
but the VOD does.
It's okay.
That I don't want to listen to myself. That would be bad for me. Pardon you.
Excuse me, that fell out.
Here's one that I wanted to mention.
Do you remember, Simon, what it was that I went before I went to the toilet? What I said to Mel that I was going to speak of? I was going to say something.
Watches.
Watches.
I watches.
This is going to annoy me so much.
No.
What were you going to say just now?
I had one more on my list. The last one on my list was good intuition.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would you say that good intuition is also because of being able to read situations well,
Yes
and
and
then
no, because I'm very bad at thank you taco, best taco,
Aw.
best taco.
you're the
You are
best.
the VIP of the ADHD stream.
Wait, can you? Because I think if it's not, if it's set up, because
You
we.
can go and get it out of YouTube though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, YouTube because the VOD's not published.
Yes, of course.
I'm very bad at reading body language because I'm autistic, and so maybe this is where we might be different.
Yeah.
I'm just hypersensitive to how people act, and you'll have seen this because obviously we've been through a few of these situations together, where once I'm tuned on to the fact that someone has hit a bell in my head for something, everything I notice it all. I'm like, every little thing that they do suddenly becomes apparent to me, and I worry sometimes that it makes me hypercritical, but then I'm always right. So it's hard. It's like I'm appearing hypercritical, or maybe it seems like I'm being mean here, and in conveying that I might sound like a bitch, but I also know, and I don't trust myself a lot, but on this I'm always right about people. Taco YouTube, the VOD will be available on YouTube. Also subscribe to us on YouTube, please, because you can watch all of our VODs of the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, you can.
Working on more content for there, but
Yeah.
we hadn't podcasted for a while, so it took me a while to get some content. And then last week I didn't want to make content out of because we both just cried for most of it.
We went.
And that was
It's
good. Like, it was a
fine.
very healing conversation, and I'm glad we
was.
had it.
Agreed.
But also, it's like, out of context, it's hard to make small snippets and clips out of that.
Correct.
There's some really good ones out of the Dan podcast I really want to go back and pick, because I haven't, and I really should. It's just I have to be in a mood where I can listen to myself speak without, like, wanting to lay down on the floor and cry.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by this very like Irish
Okay, I
jig
can't hear
sounding.
it, so to me, you're just doing
Oh.
this.
It's very Irish,
I love
but
that.
with a like a
Did you ever do
grungy like.
Irish dancing?
But it's
you
like with a
heard-
grungy like electronic like like synthy. I don't-
Have you heard the an Aussie band did a version of Murder on the Dance Floor? I played it on my stream last night. It's only recent,
Oh,
but
is
it's
it?
so good. It's almost like soft punk Murder on the Dance Floor.
Nice.
And it
Great
is
song. It's a
So
great song.
good. As well as G Flip's cover of Cruel Summer. We were discussing Cruel Summer last night.
Oh, did she do one? God damn it, Flip.
They did G Flip did a cover of Cruel Summer, and it's gone like so right because they did the lesbian version, of course, and so changed all the he's to she's.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, again, like that soft punk rock.
I'll have to check it out.
It's really good. I'm into Leica versions at the moment. It's
Yeah.
my hyper focus. That's one thing. We're experts, I will say. On the things that we do know about, we are experts because if I consume something and I'm passionate about it, I will know everything. I finish a TV series and I spend the next 3 weeks just like tabs after tabs. Like, I know every person that person's ever dated.
Yep.
And I know every show that they've ever done. And where did I see them? Oh, I know them from somewhere.
Isn't that one of the
We are
most annoying
experts in the
things?
things that we hyper focus on.
Yeah, because you see something, I'm like, there was someone that may have been in like a snippet of something, and I see them like, I know they've been in something. What have they been in? And you go through your brain, I'm like, and about everything else has to be put on hold because I need to know.
It to go and figure it out.
Correct.
That's
and I'm like,
why
that's what it is.
Amazon Prime has X-ray.
Oh yes, that's
It
right.
is my favorite because if they're on the screen and you hit pause, it will tell you every actor or actress that is currently in that scene. And
Yeah.
it's like, thank you, because now I can just go quickly Google, be like, where do I know them from? Oh yeah, that's right, and move on with my life.
Yep.
Usually it's from a sitcom. Like
Yep.
usually they'll have been a background or a minor actor in like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or New Girl or something like that. I'm like, I saw them for 3 seconds once. Whoopsie.
Yep. What were we watching? We were watching something. I now can't remember what the actual show was, but the chick that was suspected to be the mum in Blacklist, in the Blacklist, was in it, and me and Simon were both looking. I'm like, I know her from somewhere. Then I figured it out, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. And it's just like it was like such a, like now I can watch this, continue watching it without this little, like, just annoying little. It's like if you're having an itch and you can't scratch it and you're watching it.
Yep.
Like, who the hell is it? It's
I think
so
life
frustrating.
with ADHD, I feel like that's actually the best slogan for ADHD. Living with ADHD is like having an itch that you can never scratch.
Yeah.
About so many things.
Yeah.
So many things cause that itch. It's like I was saying about driving, where it's like if I know I need to send a message, that will
like,
itch at me until I scratch it and just pull over and do it.
Yeah.
Or it will just, and it's like if you don't or you can't, it
It's so
causes a meltdown.
Yeah.
Like when I need or want to do something and I physically can't, it is so upsetting to me. So anyway, I think that's quite an interesting analogy for it.
Yeah, I think that's a very hard thing. I know that, and it's easier. It might be or it might not be, but it's easier. I don't want to say easier. That's not the right word. I don't know, but for lack of a better word, let me just say easier on on you because you live alone. Whereas so for me, having Simon or like my mum's here at the moment, for them, and it gets. If I'm doing something, I'm like, I have to finish. So I think this is a thing we've spoken about a bunch. But yeah, it's that it gets annoying I know it gets very annoying for them. And I feel like they're nagging me with something, whereas I end up just kind of tuning out and not responding. And I know that frustrates them, but I'm like, I've got to get this done. So then when they keep nagging me about something that I've got to do or whatever it is, I'm like, I get frustrated as well. So it becomes, but it's, so I feel like it's a much harder thing when you're living with people particularly.
Yeah, and I think that's where sensory rooms or quiet rooms or like spaces like that are so important because like for me, my home is my sacred place.
Yes.
It's where I go and I know that I'm not going to be needed by anyone.
Yeah.
And I can just switch off. And I'm like, look, I'm needed because I have pets and they need me, but it's very different. They can wait for 5 minutes most of the time. And like, if they need me, it's because they need food. And it takes me 3 seconds to just whiz around and fill food bowls. Everything else can kind of wait. And it never does, but it can.
Yes.
Having that, I know a lot of married couples who like, and it would be the case for me. It was something that I've always said I would need for myself is my own room. And it's like, that was when my brother and I agreed to move in together. It was like, we each have our own bedroom and own bathroom. And like, that's, you know, you do whatever you want with that space, as long as it's clean and in order for an inspection. But I think that some married couples I know have needed the same, like especially, you know, like I have a friend who's autistic and is really into like has a couple of passions. It's like that room is where all of his stuff for that stuff goes, you know, whatever it might be. I'm going to use the generic male autism passion of trains. It's like, you've got model trains, that's your model train room. And you do whatever you want, and it can look as chaotic as you want because the door just gets closed.
Yeah.
But if you need to be uninterrupted and just, that's your room for that. It's like a sensory room. It's like a regulation room where it's like, I go into this space and I just sit and I just rot.
Yeah.
Or scroll. And it's like, this is where I go. It's like a quiet carriage of a train.
Yeah.
It's like, this is where I'm going to let you know that I need some space and I need to regulate.
Yeah.
You know?
That's probably a great idea.
Yeah, it could be. Like, it's something that I've really needed to make for myself. And I do it at work too. If I don't want to be interrupted, I book a meeting room.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonah. Because it's the same thing. It's like, if I'm just sitting at a desk in a common space, that's kind of like opening me to a hello as you're passing, or a hey, do you have a second, or could you take a look at this? If I really need to be by myself, I book a meeting room. If I need to be by myself because I'm having a meltdown, we have end of trip facilities at work, which is kind of like, they're designed for people who ride bikes to work. So they have showers and towels and hair dryers, but during the day, they're empty and they're very nice spaces because it's a new office. If I need to be alone, I'll go into a meeting room. Sometimes I'll just sit on the floor of meeting rooms because they've got like glazed windows, so you can't really see in or out. You can, but if I really need to be alone and regulate or have a cry, I go and literally sit on, like, they're like the kind of showers where you've got the little bench inside as well, because they're like public. Yeah. And I'll just go sit in there because there's never anyone in there. No one comes in. Yeah. And I can just literally sit on the floor and scroll my phone if I want to. Yeah. And so it's about knowing that you need that. A lot of places in public now have sensory rooms. Like, I know Marvel Stadium has a sensory room for autistic people that's sort of just like, if this is all too much, you're at the footy or whatever and you just need 10 minutes, it's a quiet place. That's cool. Yeah, regulating around other people is really difficult. Yeah. And it's especially hard when you can't communicate, I need you to leave me alone for half an hour. And so it's why having that space can sometimes just be, it's like your space where, you know, come in and say something if you need me. It's like, hey, I'm going out. But it's like I need to be by myself right now. And maybe that is something for you that would be like, because, you know, it's the being needed, it's the having to compromise is hard, and that's something I struggle with. You know, maybe I just need to have a hat that says me time or something. But maybe that is just where you need, like, where it's like, this is how I'm feeling right now, I'm going to get a banner. Communicating that you need to regulate. Yeah. And you're like and it's not something you can do all the time, right? And sometimes you've got to compromise and you've got things that you have to do, but I think so too, Watchers. I think, you know, it's it's definitely a privileged thing to be able to have. Yeah. But I think that even a space. I feel like even that is, and I probably need to be more aware of it, that's this room, essentially, for Simon. That he does work on other music stuff or the stream stuff. And I almost think that's, and Simon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is probably how he de-stresses to an extent, and it's his time. Yeah. Then I'm like, and it's bad for me. I've never really thought of it or never considered that. Simon says true. I've never considered that part of it. Whereas I feel like I've never thought of it that he needs. That's him in his time and his space, and I'm like, no, come to bed. I don't want to be alone. Like, but I probably should. Let him do the things that he wants to do too, and have his own. But that's also time for you too, right? Like, that's absolutely time that you can go and have your regulating time, or do anything else. You know, like that separate time is important. You know, like watch a movie. Simon doesn't have to be there for that. Yeah. You know, like Mel, let's hang out and watch a movie in Discord because Mel is always bored at 9 o'clock at night, which is when my brain gets bored. Yeah. It's darker. Not being able to form words. Aaron panic. Psy panic. Autocorrect lane thing. Backtrack. Perseverance. I'm going to quickly check on my kitten. You try and see if you can figure out what you were thinking. We are resilient. Baby Mel. Ishinu claps. We achieved really cool stuff together. P-dance. I feel like that's a... resilient thing?
Perseverance, yeah, perseverance. Resilience. If anything on you, yep. Because, yep. No, I've got nothing. I got nothing. Maybe I was going to... Yeah, no, I got nothing. I was talking about Azira's superpowers. Yes. I think maybe we kind of maybe roundabout went... I think I was going to say the resilient thing about kind of the hyper focus maybe, or being like... No, I don't know. For those who don't know, there was a topic that before I had to pee, and because then the fact that I needed to pee took over, and so and I was like, remind me what I was going to say, and then I went and peed and forgot what I was going to say on that topic, and it's not coming back to me. It will at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could live without reading so much pain. Yeah, watches. You didn't really form full words, so maybe cliff notes on the thoughts might help. I wish. Yeah. I live in a studio by myself, and later this year I may have to move. I just can't imagine sharing with someone else without having my own space. Sometimes I need to be away from people. Yeah, for sure. They can be hard to live, and because you also have to, yes, if you have your own space, if you have your own room and stuff, then that's obviously one good thing, but then it's sharing common spaces with other people that you're not comfortable with, saying that you're uncomfortable with something they may do or habits that they have that don't, like, that can be really tough. This is why, sometimes you'll have, when people are dating and they move in together, that's a trial, because sometimes, you might get along like housemate and be great, and then as soon as you move in, their home habits and your home habits don't work well, and you can't figure it out, or you can't adapt, and it's just, that's where you go, okay, we can't, that's not going to work. That's definitely a make or break for sure. Because sometimes you're like, Simon I have those things that we have adapted to, and some things that we still clash with, for sure. But we figured it out, I guess, sort of. Did we, Simon? Would you? But Simon keeps doing this one thing that does my head in. Although I know what he's going to say when I say it. Internet. All I gotta say is I can now tell how long you were holding it for. Thank you. My brain is never bored. That is the problem. Partial autism can be such a pain when your brain is always running at about 100. Well, yeah. So watches. I might have some sort of form of autism. I don't think so. But yeah, the ADHD factor is my 100%. It's that, and that's what we were talking about earlier. But where if I'm awake, I'm awake. If I'm asleep, I'm gone. You can't wake me up. Because as soon as I'm awake, and Simon takes time to wake up, whereas the minute that I'm awake, and my brain is like, all the thoughts. I'll often roll over and I'm just like, ask him like the most in-depth question. And Simon says as well that he'll notice in the car, like if we get up and we have to go somewhere and we wake up, go in the car, I ask him some of the most deepest questions first thing in the morning. And he's like, how are you even functioning right now, let alone thinking such deep and asking such deep questions, or thinking of such intense topics? I'm like, before coffee. Yes, before coffee. Do you have breathing techniques to bring you back to the moment? No. I mean, there are, yes, I know of some that I should do, but I don't. I don't. And I don't know, look, to be honest, I wonder if it's the dopamine hit of it, or the thrill of that the whole breathing technique to calm me back down kind of is almost no fun. I don't know if it's, if for lack of a better description. I totally know that feeling, Erin. Yep, eyes open, fully running at the, yeah, bang. As soon as I'm awake, let's go. Sharing room is calming and destroying at the same time, and definitely needs some time to figure out for both. Definitely, spot on. What did I do? Oh, Simon, just, when the coffee pods, and I'm like, just empty it straight away. The thing. But then he's going to be like, you make the coffee then. I make the coffee, you do it. And I'll be like, that's fair. It does my head in when it's like the coffee pods build up and there's just like this pool, because once you do the coffee pod things, they're full of water. So obviously that's how you get the coffee out. And then when they drop through in their little container, they sit there and leak. And then just all this water bit, like an old coffee, fills up. And I'm like, oh, it's so yuck. But then I should just empty it. Because Simon does do a lot. It happens. I really should do breathing techniques for sure. Shut up, Simon. I forgot about this once and it went oh, that's exactly right, Jonah. That's what I can't. I'm like, yuck. I can be messy, but when it's like dirty like that, it gets right under my skin. I'm like, oh, yuck. Because my brain's going, all the mold, if that's when it gets a bit moldy and yucky and it's old milk and it's going to smell and it's going to have all grotty stuff and then it's going to be like, it's just, I can't. Oh, kitty. Yeah, it's like, and we went on so many house inspections where I'd see grot and grime and stuff and I'm like, no. It was an instant no for me. At some houses, I was like, I can't, no. Backyard. That's the one she found today. It could be the thrill of the next thing, yeah. So you're always on to the next thing because that feels more exciting. Yeah, definitely. Simon looks exhausted from the moving and the stress of it all. Well, you mean, how do you know? What do you mean? Oh, you mean just like in general, Lulu? Because I'm like, have you seen him today? How red he is? I'm a little tomato. Because we went to Sunshine Coast today. And Simon got a bit burnt. I'm a little flush, but nowhere near as bad as he is. But he always burns like real bad compared to me.
Hello. Sorry. I'm not going to tell you what I just dealt with. Nobody wants to know, but I just had to wash my hands very well.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you later. It's a very normal new kitten thing.
Fair enough. Vomit related?
No.
Oh, bum related.
Not even. Anyway, let's move on or I will actually puke because I nearly did.
Oh, no.
What were we talking about?
Now I'm like, so like, what could it be that's that bad?
He had worms.
Oh, no.
I dewormed him.
What is
several meters long.
Oh no.
You wanted to know. You wanted to know.
Yes, I know.
I looked down and saw it. I was like, I have to deal with this right now. I am strong stomached, but I feel a bit sick.
Better that it's out of your
Oh, absolutely, Lurkin. It's very important to get, like, it could have killed him. But also...
Harley's never had worms. Never.
I've dealt with worms a lot because it's very normal for kittens, but
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Was it like a tapeworm?
I don't know.
Oh, because they can. I think like, tapeworms are really long. Oh.
Yeah, it must have been because I deal with roundworm a lot, which is like they're little. There's lots of them, but they're little, and I'm like that's still gross.
Yes.
But
anyway,
all right.
Gross. I've heard of those stories, and I'm just like, dear God, I hope it's not.
Yeah, it was. Again, I'm pretty strong in the stomach. Like really, the only thing that gets me is saliva, and we've spoken about this, which is why I don't like kazoo. But yeah,
I almost reached for it, but I'm like, no, don't do it. So
that would be better, right? Like I feel like that would be. If it'll make you happy, you kazoo your heart out.
It's a good thing Cass cute, yeah. So we went to a potential rental once, and the bong was still on the coffee table next to the empty beers. I don't get that. Actually, you know what? I kind of do get it to be. I was like, license to kazoo. You heard her.
I'm just having a sip of my drink. The great thing right now is I can just. I'm safe. I can talk and you can all hear me, but...
Okay.
That was a quick reaction. I've got good reflexes, Aaron. I've had lots of practice with Richard.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just messaging the rescue, like, you'll never guess what happened.
So we were briefly talking about things like, I think it was Logan that asked if I had breathing techniques to, particularly like in the morning when I said, so watchers said a similar thing like that when the brain's on, and it's like all the things, like first thing in the morning, it's on. Like as soon as you're awake, bang, it's on. And so like I'll roll up Simon and be like, ask him the most in-depth questions. He takes time to wake up, and I'll be like, and I think that's kind of a good thing. That's can we call this like a mini superpower? Because once I'm awake, it's like, I'm good. Let's go. I'm alert. doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get up and do the things that I'm supposed to do, but I'm up and I can deal with like stuff. I can deal with the hard questions, and that's usually where I do my best thinking, or I'm. It's weird. It's like when I'm about to go to sleep or when I first wake up is when I do my best thinking, and it's like so it can be so annoying, but.
And that's where we're different again, because that's me of a night. And that's not only where I do my best thinking, but it's where I do my overthinking, and it's where I get really upset.
Same watches with Simon. Yep. He's just like, I'm like, roll over and I'll ask him the most in-depth question. He's like, what? And I'm like, in front, because I'm just like, but this, it's like, it's quite simple. And I'm just asked, like, I'll ask the most, and like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, he doesn't compute at all. And like, he's like, I'm still waking up. I don't understand. What? Like, and I'm like, what do you mean, what? Like, we're awake going, like, let's go. Answer this question for me. And like, he just can't.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I have a routine, and I can get through that routine, but I need coffee and my meds before I'm functional to do anything.
oh yeah, doing anything, yeah, for sure. But
I'm not a morning
the
person.
thinking, yeah, no, I agree.
That's me of a night. I
Yeah.
used to lay in bed of a night next to my ex-partner and be like, and I would just say something like, he's probably already asleep. He was one of those people, and it used to piss me off, and it wasn't his fault. He would lay down, head hits the pillow, and he's out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a 2 to 3 hour girl.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore now that I have meds to help with it, but it used to take me hours. And so I'd be like, oh, hey, do you ever think about the... And he'd be like, no. I'm like, cool, well, I do. Just constantly.
Yeah. I used to try to stay away then because I know I can't stop myself from being me. Yeah. Zombified in the morning, but sometimes I can get up and get going. Well, it's like the other case. Okay, so on Friday, I woke up, saw 8:30, and my brain went, oh, 8:30. It's Friday. McDonald's does free coffee on Friday.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, Simon, get up. And I was like, we got to get up and go now. And I ran into my mum, and I'm like, Mum, it's coffee time. And she's like,
time.
oh, and because we're similar, like, but see, it's what I mean. Mum and I are very similar, but also very different in things that
I'm like that if there's something happening and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, I've said this before. I'm really, like, I struggle. Morning routine impacts my self-image a lot. Like, I was saying this earlier about having a body that's changing, and it's very hard to, like, the things that I look at in myself now and criticize are not the same things that I did before.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, wow, it's gonna sound, take it as face value, and I don't want any chat comments about this, thank you. I'm like, wow, my tits look great today. Or like, look at my waist that I didn't have before. Like, it happened today. Like, I fit into a size 14 top for the first time. This is a 14. Thank you. Not the first time ever, but the first time.
Apologize for the
while.
loudness, but
And yeah, so
it's worth a loud applause.
it is. But then instead of like looking at my weight and criticizing, I'm now dealing with the self-acceptance of like, I've lost a lot of weight and I'm going to continue to probably lose about the same again. And it's like, oh, like I have the loose skin that, not heaps, because I have very like elastic skin from having ADS, which is a new thing anyway. Or like I'm started to become really conscious of the other things that weren't as bad when I was fat, because that was the thing. I'm like, I had something to latch onto, and so I didn't worry about the other little things, like the fact that I really need to get braces, and I put it off for my family put it off for my entire life, and then as an adult I've not been in a place to afford braces. Or like there's lots of things that I'm not going to put on the internet because that just encourages people to comment on them. But exactly, you latch onto something. And I don't remember where I started this, but
I don't think it's where you started things. I think it's in society. Like, that's what we do, and that's what's been kind of brainwashed. Is there's always, even if someone looks perfect, there's always people, and we pick at things. It's in film. It's in everywhere you look. It's always something's got to be picked at. So if you've done the thing, it's going to be like, but where's the thing that I should be picking at? And then you lock onto something.
And it's really hard because it impacts your, like, I've said this to you about different things where I'm like, oh, like, I'm
Night
not,
Jonah.
I'm out of their league, or, like, as in, like, they're out of my league, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not good looking enough. Like, my body is starting to fit more into the male gaze. I'm starting. There's starting to be things where it's not just like, "Pff, no way would they ever be interested in me. I'm like, I can kind of like, like I'm not, exactly where I want to be, but I am fitting more into like the type of body that is thick enough to be curvy, but thin enough that it's not ugly. And so, look, everyone feels differently about this, but so then I'm becoming more hyper aware of the other things where I'm like, no, they couldn't possibly, because who would, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Probably what Tansy said.
Correct. Trying to fix everything is probably part of it. Low self-image is probably part of it.
Yeah.
There's a big part of it that is actually just weight loss based, in that, like, my body is never going to look like someone who has always been 50, 60 kilos, because I've had a lot of weight and lost it, and your body doesn't bounce back from that. I will have like loose skin or like sections of me. I'm not just going to be some toned buff, It's why a lot of people who lose a lot of weight become bodybuilders, because muscle fills out that gap, particularly for men. For women, it's more likely you just get lipo and surgery to fix it. And I'm like, when am I going to have a spare 20 grand to get lipo in my, and like, so a part of it is actually just me having slowly to learn to accept how my body is going to look, because when you go on a weight loss journey, while you do it for health, and that's why I'm doing it, there is a part of you that's like, I'm a look hot, and like, like all these other people who I think are hot, like, and so there's part of that where it's like, I'm sure this probably happens a lot to women who have babies.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I have to accept my new body because it did something really cool. And it's like, it doesn't matter if I have like some loose skin. I don't really have much, but it is there. Like, it's obvious to me, to me, not to everyone else probably. But it's I have to learn to accept this body, because actually this body is just as healthy as if I didn't have that. If I was, like whatever my weight is now, I'm healthy regardless of that. And I need to learn to accept that.
Yep.
Because
and that's just
it wasn't about how I looked. It was about how I felt and being able to do things and being healthy and having a long life. It was mostly about being able to do things.
Yeah.
It was about being able to be more active and do more and live more and travel more and all of those things. And obviously for my chronic health as well. But at the same time, I am but a person who looks in the mirror. And what I was getting at was around what you were saying about the McDonald's thing. I've said, I'm like, the morning routine is always a trigger for me, because I'm never going to be happy with how I look.
Yeah.
And being able to go, you know what will make me feel better? Getting out the door and having a coffee, because like, I'm a Starbucks hoe.
Yeah.
And someone asked me about my coffee order earlier. It is a caramel macchiato with skim milk. Always. And blonde roast from Starbucks, because their dark roast mix gives me heartburn. So there's your answer to that most of the time. If I'm not at Starbucks, it'll literally just be a skinny latte, no sugar. I'm very boring, but I like it sweet.
Oh, thanks for
your biddies, Ash.
Biddies, Ash. Thank you.
For Erin Biddies. We love Erin Biddies. You alright? You okay?
Did that door just open?
No. I'm going to open this one, though, because it's getting warm in here.
I'm like,
I'm fidgety today. You alright, kiddo? You alright? You're right.
no, it doesn't matter, Ash. It's appreciated no matter what.
What?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Now I realise it did open.
Uh-oh, just in time.
Who dat, Bubby? Come here. Come here.
Oh, I know I closed the door. I'll never do it again. I'm so sorry.
You gonna come in?
Oh, God.
He's like, hi. I missed you, Mummy.
Holly. Maple.
Just get your tail out of the way. I'm surprised you're awake, buddy. You had a big day at the beach.
Oh, big day.
Big day at the
Not Sunday.
beach. He was literally falling asleep on the sand, just like, oh.
And he was. Nice and warm.
He was like... It was
This
so
break
funny.
is sponsored by Harley and Garfield. Everyone's second favourite duo.
They're our adoption babies. Oh.
Cousins.
He's so good, you Bobby.
Are you a good cousin?
Who that? Harley, who's that? Over there. Who that? You see? Who that?
Kathy, look this way.
Over there, Papa. No, he's like, I'm not interested, Mummy.
No, I just want to cuddle you. Yeah, Garfield's exactly the same.
Oh, baby.
We love our stage 5 clinger pets.
Oh, I know.
Oscar, come here. No, Oscar. Oh my god.
A little too big for a lap dog unless there
Maybe
is
open the
extra
door, it's all over.
couch to sprawl out on. Never too big to be a lap dog. He's the best.
Never. There are 3 cats on my desk and 3 more on the ground. It's fine. Everything's fine. This is all measured chaos.
This is the best kind of lap dog.
He's a good
He's a good lap dog. He likes
He
to
thinks
just...
he's a chihuahua.
He does think he's a chihuahua. He thinks he's a little, yep, a little one. Actually, there is a chihuahua across the hall and up the cross and up
Amazing.
from us.
Best friends. Little girlfriend.
Yep.
Harley.
Her name's
We're gonna have
Honey.
4 cats smelling muffin.
Her name's Honey. Oh, they're all like,
Aw.
hello, who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
And I'm like, please get away from him. He has worms.
Oh.
It's alright, my guys were wormed the other day.
Buddy, what are you doing? Do you want to get down now?
Garfield just wants to be next to me. He's watching my fidget spinner.
There you go.
I don't want to curse it, but did we cover succinctly a podcast topic in 2 hours and 23 minutes?
Yeah. I was actually going to say, I'm probably... It's
I've said the
been
things I wanted to say.
Yeah, me too. It's been a big day.
It has.
And I'm a bit tired. And I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad. I feel like 6 o'clock for me, 7 o'clock your time is
This
a
is a
good,
much better
responsible time.
Like finishing at 9:30. I mean, I need to go make dinner now, although I'm not really hungry anymore, if I'm completely honest with you. But
Yeah.
I need to eat, and yeah, it is there. Well, yeah, that's true. Garfield. It's not my fault that Garfield needs to be cuddled all the time, but I sure do indulge him. But yeah, I think we covered all of our.
Focus.
You know, we did some good chatting about positives of ADHD.
I'll have to wake up
proud of
earlier,
us.
which isn't a bad thing. You know what? I kind of... Can I give homework today?
Of course, you can give homework.
You can... Oh, this is
I
my
won't be
idea.
getting
You
up
fix me
earlier if that's your homework. But
And that,
I love.
no. My homework was just today is to reflect on yourself and find your superpower. Or like, if
Find your
we've
superpower.
said anything that make you go, oh, that is, accept your superpower, and if turn it into a positive thing, that it's a good thing,
Yeah.
or something about you that is if it's an ADHD trait thing, and it feels like it's a negative, flip it to
Yeah.
a positive and make
Find
something
the
good of
positive.
it.
And also share it with us. I want to hear
Yeah.
about all of your superpowers in our Discord,
Yes.
in the Neurodivergent channel.
Intervention. And if the last thing, I haven't mentioned it and it's popped up a few times and I keep forgetting to actually acknowledge it, is hi Simon.
Hello.
Hi, Simon.
Is
Here's one we prepared
would you like to
earlier.
show people how red your face is? Come,
Oh, sorry.
oh Simon.
Sweet
Um,
summer sigh.
Superpowers over 9,000. Excellent. Yes, I'm not surprised you have 9,000 superpowers.
No, me either.
What was I saying? Oh, I was on a roll and then I lost it. Yeah, that poor tomato alone, Aaron. I can't help it. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, he's a bit red. He's a bit pink. He's a bit pink.
He's sun-kissed.
He's very sun-kissed. He's a bit tomato-kissed actually, but
Like Schweppes raspberry.
yes, Schweppes raspberry.
Yeah, well.
I really don't
I've
remember
just
what I was
realised
going to say.
that's why it's called sun-kissed.
Because it's orange?
No, because sun-kissed.
Oh yeah, so because it's
Because it's
orange.
not
'cause
spelled
it's
that
like,
way. Yeah, but I didn't even realise sun-kissed. Sun-kissed.
As in, you mean
I-
the drink?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Wait, I'm confused. What's your word?
Well, sun-kissed is spelled-
S-U-N-K-I-S-T.
KIST,
is the drink.
yeah.
I didn't realise that that's derived from the phrase
Sun-kissed.
sun-kissed. As in kissed by the sun.
Oh, you didn't make that? Oh,
No.
really? Oh,
No, I've never. That's the first time I've made that correlation.
that's what it was. Oh. Sorry, I just remembered what it was that I was going to say that I said that I saw that I haven't
What
What
addressed yet.
the-
Yes, that's sun-kissed, yes. During stream, if you want to check out our merch store, you get 10% off just during stream. During stream time. So, be happy he can go into the sun. Someone who gets burnt from looking at a picture of the sun watches it. Oh, trust me, so this is why Simon's looking like... This is why Simon is very, 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 very pink. very pinky red right now because that he couldn't go. Yeah, you can't really go into the sun without getting burnt, can you?
No. Well, no, I can.
you can a little
Look,
bit,
this
maybe.
is we've been up here for 6 months, and this is the first time I've been burnt.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Warranted.
yeah,
Allowed.
allowed.
Yes. Permission granted.
Um,
But
this
yes.
week, we'll maybe say goodbye to our YouTube friends.
Yes.
First, Sai, question mark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Thanks, YouTube friends. Please subscribe to us on YouTube.
It is youtube.com/@symbol. Not at and then symbol. It's the little A. Oh God, I can't do this very well. youtube.com/@ what Mel just did. Yep.
Yeah.
At WYDS podcast. The Instagram is WYD. Oh God.
WYDS podcast, and also on Instagram and TikTok as well.
TikTok.
TikTok
TikTok.
on TikTok.
TikTok.
I love TikTok.
Was that tick up or tick?
Yeah. I
Calm
said
down.
TikTok.
Calm
What
down.
did you say?
That's for later. It's the Discord after party. Thanks, YouTube people, and
And-
thank you for subscribing and interacting on the YouTubes.
Yes. Thanks, YouTubers. You guys are legends. We appreciate you. Take care. Be good.
Bye.
Bye.